I feel like we should have more moon technologies. You know what I'm saying? I think shit is like flying up from the ocean to the sky.
Like surfing in oil spillage. Inhaled like a whole bag of feathers.
I worry primarily about whether there are nightclubs in heaven.
You never skip leg day when you're recording.
Of course. Yeah, that's a weapon. Into the hole. Into the hole. Into the pits. Into the hole.
The first 5 minutes will be.
Well, how long
edited
is the
more
intro? The
compressed.
intro is like about 5 minutes.
The intro is like 1.5 minutes.
I always thought it was
Like the first part goes for 30 seconds, and then I sort of fade it out as like we're getting going and set up.
Oh, okay.
So like the music fades into the dialogue. That was the idea.
Yeah. You should do an extended version of that.
Yeah.
Just like
Just like a 10
Just
minute
compiling,
jam.
yeah.
elongate the original track, or just slow it way down so it's like a really slow,
Yeah,
deep
chopped
piano
and screwed.
track.
Chopped and
Merge
screwed.
the "Oh Well You Bastards" theme with some of Esteban's noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Just like have him doing a drone over it.
Yeah, and just slow it down.
Monochromacy, 10,000% slower.
How long would that be? That'd be fucking long, man. Have you seen those? We've all seen those videos, right? You know, they slow
Yeah,
down
like
the
Hannah
songs.
Montana slowed down by 10,000%,
Yeah.
turns into sludge metal.
Now, what would it be to put to take like a monochromacy track and slow it down 10,000?
It'll sound the same.
It'll end up sounding like Katy Perry somehow.
It like turns into speed metal.
Yeah, it's be sick. There you go.
So welcome to our podcast. We have two guests with us in the room, and
Yeah.
this sweaty hot room that looks like a murder dungeon.
Yeah, it looks like a dungeon for sure.
Yeah. And at least it's not the sweatiest, hottest room. It may be a murder dungeon, but at least it's not the most humid room in the house. So there's that.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Cracking open a cold
Yeah.
one with the boys.
I gotta get a selfie of this thing on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get your. There you go.
No, I'm poking it.
This is the Sounds of Selfies podcast. Where we just people taking selfies.
Oh no, I had it in silent.
Oh, damn it. So podcast ruined.
Jack and I went to a baseball game last night. What we decided to do is photobomb people's selfies, so we would stare directly into the camera.
I didn't realize that was a thing we were deciding to do. I thought that was just standard operating procedure for when people take pictures and you're behind them.
I don't think everybody does that. I think some
Well, I
people
do.
have more courtesy than us.
Yeah.
I'm not a courteous man. Hey, if anything, I'm doing them a favor. I'm making their pictures 10% more handsome. At least 10%. There's a lot of people in the group in the photo. It's a crowded baseball stadium, so I can only raise the average by so much.
Yeah.
There's all these other people just weighing it down. So I'd say about 10% more handsome.
It's good. It's good material.
Yeah.
It's good material for them to. Hey, look at that guy.
Look at that weird- look at that.
Look at this weirdo staring at our photo.
Look at this disturbing, handsome man just staring right into the camera.
You
He's
ever
intense
think
too.
when you do that? Do you ever think that at some point you'll cross paths again and they'll go, "There's that fucking guy."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Why do you think I do it? Specifically so I can have that interaction with another human being at some point in my life. Like, they've lost sleep over looking at that picture and seeing that I'm in it, like this wonderful family photo, and I'm just in the background, just eye fucking the camera.
Sneering, yeah.
And I don't smile. I just stare right into it, all stone faced, like just asserting my dominance over the camera. And at some point, somebody is going to see me
wrecking
and be like,
homes.
that motherfucker. And I hope
You wrecked my home.
Get him!
I really hope.
Yeah, they
I
chase
really-
him with a pitchfork.
I really hope that it's not just like, oh, hey, that's the guy. It's like, that's the fucking guy. I hope it's a really emotional response. Like, they've lost sleep over my photobomb, and now they're getting ready to take revenge.
Like, it ruined what they thought could have been their best selfie ever.
Yeah.
yeah. Ruined
They were
or
gonna
made
frame
better
it.
is the argument on the top.
Well, we can't blow this up and frame it.
Did I ruin their best selfie, or did I make it better? I ask as they kick my teeth in.
They were gonna make it their Facebook cover photo.
But
Jesus.
I ruined it.
They're gonna make it their
That's sick.
Facebook profile photo with one of those live, laugh, love frames over it.
And it kind of cuts me off from the photo, but not quite. So like just half of my face is still there, just staring.
Oh man, I'd be pissed.
I found a good Facebook photo frame. Mumble rap saved my life.
That was
Is that
so good.
You
That
showed
was
you
so
showed me that.
good.
Is that like the default text, or I thought it was like a type in your own thing?
That's the default text. It was made
So
by
weird.
Page Millions of Dead Posers.
So weird.
No, that was,
Mumble raps it.
Playboy Cardi saved my life. Best ambient artist of 2018.
oh yeah. What was the list of artists that you guys were coming up with, or that you guys were saying
Which list?
for Playboy Cardi? Playboy Cardi was it was that. There
Oh, the
was-
guy I met?
Yeah. He was talking about.
Yeah, I won't name him because
influences.
I don't want him to get like extra emails, but I met a guy who reviews albums for a pretty prominent magazine. And we were talking about music. He was into like the idea of my old Screamo band, how we were called All My Wishes Were Thrown Down a Well and Should Die There. And we would do like variations of that, like all my wishes were thrown through a hoop and ball is life.
All my widgets
And
were
we
put
were-
on a website that nobody saw.
Yeah, we were totally on top of all the memes. Like we were making meme flyers. Like we were getting posts that were shared all over the place. We were turning like the seriousness of Screamo into just a joke. So he was into that. He likes emo revival, shoegaze, chillwave is his favorite. He likes some rap too, and he was like, "Yeah, Playboy Cardi pretty much is ambient. What do you mean like?" You listen to ambient and rap. You listen to like both at the same time there.
Oh yeah. There was a list of artists that you guys were putting together that Playboy Cardi sounded like. Yeah, I forgot him. I don't have my phone on me. I
Oh,
left it
okay.
there. But I was trying
Maybe
to-
that was something else.
No, okay.
I talk about Playboy Cardi a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you just recently saw him too, right? You were telling me.
Yeah, my friend Leo and I, we couldn't get tickets to the sold out Soma show, so we went to this club in downtown called Park and saw Playboy Cardi play 4 songs for $25.
Jesus.
The rest of the night was just filled with like bad EDM and like rap EDM. They had like good projections and laser shows and like girls dancing, so like totally San Diego downtown club vibe.
Whoa. Where at?
Park, I forget what street it's on, maybe Broadway. I was able to walk there from City College though, where I parked.
Nice.
Drink it.
So when you guys tour, what do you listen to in the car?
Well, there's
Trap,
trap mostly.
Yeah, I figured that. Any podcasts?
No, not this time.
But just I think I put on your guys' podcast, the one that came on after mine.
Oh, nice.
Or I think I was going backwards.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I was, but this was around the time that we're going up to Oakland, and we're basically, I think it was that stretch from LA to Oakland. It was their second night.
That was probably like the worst night.
We were just trading
Not
off
because
sleep.
of the podcast, but
Because of the drive?
because of the drive. We couldn't find a place to stay that night.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
We were calling hotels. We ended up sleeping at a rest stop
Yeah.
for about an hour.
It was rough because
Yeah.
it was rough getting there. Well, it was rough getting there, but it was just a pain. It was just a pain after, especially trying to get out of that area. But we were mostly listening to trap. It was like trap, black metal.
Yeah,
there was
we
a part where we
yeah.
were going down a mountain, and it was like foggy. It was like
we went,
everything.
it
It was
was-
everything.
If you could listen to Dark Throne on a mountain road. that's
Right,
like
it
the best.
wasn't
And
like,
get the visuals.
Yeah.
if it wasn't trap, it was something real nostalgic from like high school that we used to listen to. So there was a lot of black metal and some doom metal in there.
And then some liars.
Follow the
some
smoke
drums
to the
not
rift-filled
dead.
land.
Yeah.
Liars was awesome. Yeah, some liars.
Oh, that's right.
We're going through a list, but we did. Yeah, it was a lot of trap music when I got to drive. No, it was the other way around. It was supposed to be. No, it was Driver would take over the radio. Don't touch my stereo. Rush hour moment.
It was that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
So, we would trade off. There was a point we're getting to the Bay Area, and then I think this is around the time where it was Suicide Boys and Radiohead live at Glastonbury.
Oh, that was great.
What year was that? That was
2003.
was a good
That
one.
was my first concert ever, and it was Radiohead during that tour. So it was like oh, hey, let's
Wait, did you see them in England or here?
here? I saw him here at
okay.
Coors Amphitheater,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, hey, let's listen to this concert from the tour that I first went to see, and
Yeah.
and it was
It was amazing.
probably the funnest drive I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Radiohead's like an important band for me, especially Kid A, but I've never been able to snag tickets. Like
Oh, yeah.
a lot of the time it sells out fast, especially if they do like an underplay.
Yeah, they got really popular over the last few years. But back in 2003, I was able to get tickets to the concert like a week before the concert happened.
cool.
And I mean, they were not nearly as popular as they are now.
Damn.
It was strange.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that goes along with the story of why, like, I bought this little bottle of the club. So it was
Let's hear this.
So it was 2009, and I was drinking this stuff, this Long Island iced tea, but they used to sell it in a glass bottle, so it was about like 22 ounces of the shit. And I was hanging out with a couple, this one dude that was older than us. I was 19. This dude that was legal enough to buy beer or whatever liquor, and then this young cat that was he was on he calls it home like house arrest, but he could hang out and whatever. So we decided to go out and hang, and he bought a bottle of this stuff, a couple of 40s, and I had remembered, we're out in the canyon by under some shade, thinking about what we're gonna do next. We got to keep on drinking, and I was like, hey man, there's a Radiohead concert down at the Coors Amphitheater. Let's go down and drink in the parking lot. Yeah. So, so we make sure to buy and buy more beer. Or the guy that was buying it for us passes out in the back seat. I'm driving. We finally get there, and we're like, all right, we're tired of being in the hanging out by the car. Let's try to go into this spot. And it's already like past 9, and there's a section over there by the Coors Amphitheater that has it's like a VIP section. Everything's fenced. You can't really.
Yeah, Jack and I had been there. I've seen
Okay,
that.
there's this VIP section. So this guy's like, he doesn't weigh anything. So I toss him over the fence. I give him a really, good boost,
Alley-oop.
and then he's in there. He's in there, and I'm like, good luck. I'll see. And then, I see myself trying to climb it by myself, but no, I can't.
Yeah.
But, so then I lose him. And so, the concert's over. Everyone's starting to leave.
Just a little side note: I'm inside at the concert this whole time.
Oh yeah. So I totally So he actually bought tickets to go see this concert.
Esteban was smart.
Yeah. No, I totally forgot. He was at this, and we're there just chilling, trying to listen to the music and drink. And so I lose this guy. The concert's over. Everyone's driving home. I'm walking around. I see those people, the staffing company that kind of, help to direct the traffic with those like localistics and shit.
Right.
Yeah,
And
like
so I
airport
go
and some
up
shit.
and, I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? You seen this so-and-so around? Oh, you know what? Hey, this looks fun. Can I direct the traffic? They pass me some of these glow sticks,
Fucking
and I'm
really?
just, and I'm
That
just,
works?
and yeah, it works. It works. They were just like, they're all about it.
They were also like, he seems cool.
He seems cool. I think he could do an all right
There's
job.
also a guy at the airport who does that.
Yeah,
for the planes.
exactly. It was just like that, except I didn't get to wear the vest. I was just, tossing.
Wait a minute. Have you guys? It's a slight side note. Have you guys seen Airplane?
Airplane, no.
Okay.
Classic 70s.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
But there's a scene in Airplane where like the guy is using the glow sticks to direct planes to their gates, and then somebody walks up to him and says, "Hey man, where's the bathroom?" And with the glow sticks, he gestures like, "Oh, they're over there." And then the plane follows that, and everybody's like, "Ah!" And then the plane just crashes through a window.
It was just like that, man.
Airplane is so good. It's nonstop jokes. The most popular one, I'm sure you heard. Surely you can't be serious. I am
I'm
serious, and don't
Call
call
me
me Shirley.
Oh, Leslie Nielsen, R.I.P.
But yeah, man, it was just like that. So I was having some fun, except nobody got into a crash because I was fooling around. So I decided to get back in my car. Home, our ticket to the beer was passed out in the back seat, and so I'm driving around looking for this guy, and I'm just telling myself, this guy, I don't know what the fuck, like he couldn't have not left or whatever, and so I end up driving into that the section where the tour buses go hang out. It is, again, this is, Interpol and Radiohead. And,
This is where the bands hang out.
yeah,
By the way, this is like the VIP, like full security.
Oh, like the green room.
This
sort of
this
thing.
is where the
shit.
tour buses drive
Yeah.
in. I think
They
it
drive in
was
there, yeah.
Liars and Radiohead were there.
Yeah, Liars, Radiohead, and Interpol.
Yeah.
I played that. So I go in there, and this, the kids out, whoever was out in the gate was trying to like flag me down not to drive in, and I drove in. And I'm like, hey, I stick my head half, out the window and stuff, looking, hey, wait, what's up? You seen this guy? And he's like, you almost hit me. You almost, whatever. You need to get out of the car and, whatever. And, and I was like, okay, well, I'll get, my dumb, I was a fool. I got out of the car, turned my car off, and go out to try to explain to him what I'm trying to do, because I guess he didn't get it, so I thought. And so I step out of the car, and by now he's already radioed somebody in to try to join us, and it was, I guess, his manager and the police, and so they have, so I'm kind of screwed now. And so they have me do that, the walk-in test or whatever. Yeah. They're making me walk. Yeah, I'm failing. I'm bombing all of that. Yeah. And, I'm not going nowhere.
Those are hard even when you're sober.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad. They made me do the alphabet and all that stuff.
I could do the backwards alphabet like really well. I practice it all throughout third grade. ZYXRV, TSRQP, NMLK, JS, GFB, DCBA. Just a weird party trick I have.
You were rehearsing for your first DUI.
Yes. At 9
That's
years
so
old.
good.
Yeah, you knew ahead of time. You were prepared.
I think they stopped doing that one because they knew like people are good at it.
Yeah. They put in their work.
They
You
want
got
to
to
set
be
them up
prepared.
so you'll always fail them pretty much.
Anybody know what they do now? Who's had the most recent DUI?
I just watched someone get a DUI about 2 years ago.
Ooh, fun.
And they were just making them do the regular test about walking in the line and touching their nose.
Yeah.
And I think from what I caught from watching, it's not so much if they can do it successfully. It's more that if they can actually follow the directions they're given. And I mean, the guy I watched was just failing really badly.
Yeah. And I think they have like a mini breathalyzer that they could give you at the car, but you could also refuse that and say, "Oh no, take me to the station, test my blood. I'm gonna be good." Like I've heard that.
Test my blood.
Test my blood.
Here, you got a Ziploc. Take my blood. Let's do it right here, man.
Yeah.
So this is where the story gets really nice. So as this is happening, they finally kind of let me have my last phone call. I call Esteban. He's in bed. And he's telling after the concert, and he tells me, tells me how great of a night, how the night ended so well for him.
How
he's
far
in
did
bed.
you have to drive to get to and from the concert?
I actually live about maybe 3/4 of a mile away from the.
Oh,
well, I used to live back then.
Yeah.
About 3/4 of a mile away
I thought
from
you
the
were
amphitheater.
I thought it was like an hour drive home, and you get this call.
Yeah.
So he got the call, and I'm like, hey, man, they're being nice. So, if you come over and move my car into their public parking, they won't tow it.
The very first question he asked was, hey, how was the show?
Oh, yeah. Let him tell it. I don't remember it.
I'm burying the lead here, but I need you to move my car.
So there was this long story he gave about how cool the concert was, how fun it was. Right before the call, I was thinking this was the perfect evening. It couldn't end better, and I was getting ready to go to bed. And then I get the phone call. So then I'm explaining how the show was, and he cuts me off, and he goes, hey, I need you to do me a favor and come get my car, because his words exactly, I got arrested for driving faded, Yeah. And the whole time I thought it was a joke, but so I decided, so the thing was that he was in the VIP parking in the back. The police were nice enough to ask him to call a friend to come and grab his car and pull it into the public parking space where no one will tow it. Mm-hmm. So I came out. I showed up to the police. I saw the police, and they said, yeah, your buddy's going to jail tonight. I look at Ariel, and he's got his face pressed up to the window with his arms behind his back in the back of a patrol car. So I look at him, and I kind of, just turn around and go, well, yeah, I'll move the car out. And before I can get into the car, they decided they're going to search the car, and they open the trunk, and all of Ariel's instruments are in there, and immediately they start saying, oh, this is stolen.
Mm-hmm.
What? What?
So I'm like, no. He's a musician. All his stuff. That's all his stuff. They go. So you guys are a couple of rock stars, huh?
Play us something.
Hey,
Prove
you
it.
rocker fool.
Yeah, exactly.
Prove it. Play something.
Freebird.
So the cops were just
Of
sort
course,
of,
the cops would ask for Freebird.
they were just sort of just shit talking us, but not really giving me much of a hard time. Ariel was already arrested, so they were sort of done with their job, and they just wanted me to get out of the way. So I just grabbed the car. I'm tasked with one of Ariel's buddies, who I've never seen again. I don't know who this guy is.
Scotty, not so hottie. Yeah, so let's go.
So
I might know that Scott. Did he move to Olympia?
I don't. Are you sure? Scott, like
What last name?
Not so hottie. He just said.
Not so hottie. Yeah, Scotty. He's the older brother of Trevor. Trevor used to throw out shows.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm
you-
thinking of a different Scott then.
Okay, but yeah, it's Scotty.
So Scotty's standing there. I have no idea who this guy is. But,
Kool-Aid Man T-shirt. I don't know.
but he was with Ariel that night, and the cops asked me that I need to take him home because he's also underage. So I go into Ariel's car, and Scotty sits with me, and I decide I wanna fuck with Scotty a little bit. So we're sitting there, and I'm looking at all of Ariel's stuff in the car, and I go, "Hey, what's this here?" And he goes, "Oh, I think that's Ariel's camera." I go, "That's my camera now," and I grab it, and I start looking through Ariel's stuff, and I start taking it, and telling him I'm gonna keep all of this. I drive the car into the parking lot, and then I tell him I'm gonna take him home, and we get back in my car. The whole drive over, I'm begging him to please let me stay with him because I need a place to stay. The whole time he's sort of terrified, and he had already talked to the police earlier, so he was already shaken up.
Yeah, a fucking stranger like asking to stay at his pad. You just saw
man, that's what he kept saying.
Yeah. No man,
So I take him home.
Oh shit.
Again, I haven't seen the guy since. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
I went to bed at like maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. The next morning, I get a call from Ariel again. He's at the police station.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have a job back then, so I collect whatever money I can from change, and I think I have like $7, and I put that into my gas tank, and
I
I
thought
go
you were gonna
out.
be like, time to bail Ariel out.
Yeah, I've been there too. The saddest thing is like when you have to pay for gas with coins.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
I used to do it a lot.
When you
back
put in
then.
a $5 and then ask for change.
There's a clip in Sorry to Bother You where he says, "Oh yeah, I'll take like 20 on 3," and it's 20 cents.
Right.
It'd be funny to be like that, to roll up with your own coin, and then you see the take a penny and shit, and just like throw it in.
Well, what happened to me? What happened to me that morning is that I rolled up with what I thought was $7, and the guy went through everything. He goes, "That's only $7.45 or $6.45 or something like that." And I'm like, "Well, just put that in." And he goes, "Well, why'd you tell me it was $7?" I'm like,
I don't know.
I
Life
don't
is
know how to-
hard.
I don't know how to
Master
count,
counter,
know. So
This ain't the damn bank.
I'm not a
man.
professional money boy.
I pull up to the police station. Ariel's in there. As I'm pulling up, he's putting his belt back on.
Yeah, they put everything in
Yeah.
this bag. Like, it's funny. I had to like open everything up. It was like one big bag with all these these dividers. Oh, here's your wallet. Here's your belt. Here's your
That whole afternoon,
laces.
after we came back to my house, that whole afternoon was like, what the fuck do we do now?
Yeah, exactly right. My car smelled like Four Loko. I had to like fucking.
Oh, of course.
Everybody's got.
Oh,
Four
well,
Locos.
we actually drove back to Coors Amphitheater, right, to get your car.
Oh yeah.
It's
My
the
car's
only
a
car in the
fucking
whole
mess.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, everything was still there, and the car fucking stunk. Yeah, but
My-
no, that's Radiohead for us.
Yeah. My car got towed after I got off a shift at 3 a.m. once.
Oh,
hassle.
yeah.
Oh.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
How much was that?
I think it was like $270 from the lot in Miramar.
Yeah.
If I had gotten there like 2 hours later, it would have jumped by another 100. I think.
What about you, Jack? You ever had it?
No, I've never had it towed. I've gotten parking tickets, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, like
parking
Mesa
tickets.
will write parking tickets every day of the week. It doesn't matter if it's a Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday, what.
Yeah, which is why we started parking all the way up in a residential neighborhood, the one that doesn't have a sign that says, "Hey, you need a B permit." Like, we found one that's all the way tucked away in a cul-de-sac.
We would
And so
park
we-
and walk
yeah.
like a mile and a half to campus.
But it's
And
cool.
then a
It's
mile
like
and a
you
half
get your
back.
walk in.
Yeah,
and,
you get your walk in, you get your little cardio, and then like one day, like we've been doing it for years at this point. I come back up and I got a ticket. I'm like, what the fuck? Did it change? I look around. There's no signs. I look at my license plate. It's like, oh, my sticker's expired.
Yeah, yeah. No, we just had recently.
2009.
Yeah, I think I've gotten twice for that. I've gotten twice for expired stickers, and I've gotten once for parking in the parking lot of a public park.
Yeah.
At night, and then I walked like. I was in PB. There's no street side parking.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm catching up with them. I park, in the parking lot at one of the parks down there, right across from Belmont Park. I'm saying park a lot. It's just I can't help it. And then we go and we get some tacos and we walk around Belmont Park in the middle of the night. And then I come back. It's like 1 a.m. and I got a ticket. I'm like, shit.
One of the things I felt the most guilty for was when All My Wishes played Che Cafe, I brought a friend out. Well, he came on his own. It was his first time at Che. He parked in the Che lot, and he got a $60 ticket.
Whoa.
Yeah,
And it was like, damn.
I've been there.
Fuck.
I've been there.
Whoa, 60?
Yeah.
Well, okay,
60
explain
for
this.
UCSD, yeah.
This is what you do. What I did when I went to see The Body, like 2012, and I got a $60 ticket
You
for
get
parking
appealed,
the Che.
I think, yeah.
I appealed it.
Or just put a beehive in your wheel well so nobody wants to come close.
I
The bees
appealed
know
it.
you, so they trust you, but anybody else is in the danger zone.
Because you got those pheromones.
Hey man, can I get a lift home? Yeah, you just gotta hold on. You just gotta put on this bee suit.
Yeah, like the move is always park like up the street at the Playhouse, and
At
they
the
don't take it
Playhouse,
there.
yeah. I said I was making a delivery, and then they just canceled everything.
I used to be a volunteer at Che Cafe. I almost got a ticket once, but I played dumb and got out of it. I was like, oh, I didn't see this sign. I'm sorry.
I can't believe that worked.
I can't believe it either. It did somehow.
Sorry.
That's good.
I won't do it again. I'll move my car. Sure, yeah.
That's good.
Oh man.
It'd be funny if that officer hears this somehow.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that officer's just catching up on all of his favorite local San Diego podcasts. He's like, hey, wait a minute.
I know that.
I
guy.
remember
I
that.
specifically remember that
in
guy.
the Saturn SL2.
I do this too much.
I'm gonna get his ass. I'm gonna track down his car. Joke's on you, buddy. We don't have that car anymore. It died. R.I.P. Frankie. I love you.
Yeah, we sold our first car to a guy for I think $300. He towed it out of here. He probably just took the tires and the battery out of it, junked the rest.
Wait, what car was it?
It was a Saturn SL2 from 2000, 2001.
Yeah, our guess was transmission problem, and replacing the transmission would have been more costly.
Yeah.
Than just
And
getting another car.
we had already put the entire front end of the car back together after a pretty nasty accident that I got in and brought it back to life. Hence the name Frankencar, because we went to a junkyard and just stripped a bunch of parts off a different dead Saturn and just put it back together. And it was cool because
It looked patchy.
Yeah, it was patchy, and it had forklift marks on the hood because they turned the hood upside down at the junkyard and piled all the other parts on top of it on the forklift. But it was cool because you know how older cars start to get faded headlights. The glass becomes all
Real foggy,
cloudy.
looking,
Yeah, and so ours didn't do that. Even though it was a 16, 17-year-old car, it got in that wreck. We lost one headlight, and then the junker, of course, had a really cloudy headlight. So it was like when you see a character in a movie who's got a scar over his eye and the one eye's all milky. So it just looked like it had been through some shit. And it looked haggard and it looked badass for a Saturn sedan.
And you were driving a car from a defunct make at that point, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. They
Saturn's
don't.
gone.
We
There's
had to go.
a Saturn forum that's active though with people who fix them up.
We had to go to a junkyard because they don't make parts for Saturns
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
And all the screws on it are metric too. And everything's located in a weird spot. My dad and I replaced the starter solenoid, and we had to get way under and up inside.
Yeah.
You couldn't go into the top.
Yeah, and we were doing repairs on the transmission when we were finishing putting the car back together, and there's a whole pan thing right here that's supposed to protect the front end of the undercarriage, and there's a hole that you're supposed to be able to reach your hand up through to unscrew and screw back on the part that we were dealing with. But it had this weird mushroom shape that is not at all conducive to the human hand, and it's just even if it was a regular circle, it would be too small. So we ended up having to rip the whole thing off in a way that it was definitely not supposed to come off, and then do what we needed to do, and then find a way to jerry rig it back on.
Yeah, Ariel, you've worked on cars quite a bit, right?
Yeah, recently too. I've been doing auto electric. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I've been doing auto electric for the last
I'm gonna take
few
this
months.
chance to get some vodka in my coffee.
Attaboy.
But yeah, my girl drives a Saturn.
Probably not for much longer.
Yeah, no, we're thinking
They're all
about
on
it.
their way out.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine. She also bought a used Saturn right around the time that I was first getting to know her, and like I already had a Saturn, so we were like, yeah, Saturn buds. And then mine died, and I was like, yeah, you're the last remaining Saturn. You're the queen of the Saturns now.
Yeah.
And then just a month ago, she sold hers because she's going to like do humanitarian work in Thailand.
Whoa.
Yeah, which is fucking cool. But like now I'm just like, oh fuck,
That's it.
there goes the last of the Saturns. Honestly, if I didn't already have a perfectly good functioning car, then I would have bought it.
Yeah, no,
Probably a terrible investment because that one's going to die sometime in the next 5 years.
Yeah, you can frank it out for a minute. you
Yeah.
know.
I'm sure the same junker that I ripped pieces off before is still in that junkyard, and depending on the problem, I could still go back to it for parts.
What junkyard did you go to?
Shit, I don't remember. It was someplace.
Alta Mesa?
No, I think I've been to a junkyard there before, but I didn't get the Saturn parts there. It was more in East County.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Saturns. Yeah, my girl's Saturn's still going on, but it's gonna give up.
right,
It's gonna go. It's gonna go.
With the boys. LaCroix doesn't count, Ian. LaCroix does not count as cracking open a cold. I still have no idea which is the correct way to pronounce it. The douchey French way or the way that everybody else says.
I had one gal like fucking try to tell me LaCroix.
LaCroix. I'm thinking I'm gonna go even more like incorrect pronunciation just to be a dick. I'm gonna call it. Oh yeah, you're drinking the LaCroix. LaCroix. Yeah.
That's what I've been calling it.
LaCroix.
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 Crushing the LaCroix.
Yeah, of
I'm
course I need to
LaCroix
get some
in
more
it.
Topo
LaCroix
Chico. I
in it.
prefer that to LaCroix, but
Dude,
this
I
is
love
available
Topo
everywhere.
Chico.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's healing water, dude.
It's great, man. I usually will go to the supermarket every week and I'll get like 5 of the 1.5 liter bottles.
And you'll drink like a 1.5 every day.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
for the tour, I bought a 12-pack of the fucking of the glass bottle, like fucking
The little glass bottles.
yeah. I bought the glass bottle, the Topo Chico 12-pack, and then we're just killing them. And then I saved one in one of these like hidden compartment, the little compartments in the car, for our friend Steve Flato, who is up in Portland, and he's a big, he's big on the on those
The carbonated water.
Steve's big on Olive Garden, too.
Yeah.
Steve loves Olive Garden.
Yeah, Steve.
In the Garden of Eden was such a cool night.
In the Garden of Eden. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we gorged on Olive Garden, and then they played
that's
a
right, you
2-hour
told me about
set
this.
That was super like slow and drony.
You told me
Him and
about this.
TJ.
See, you get Steve. You guys should get Steve on this podcast.
Yeah,
like
I'd be down to
over
have him
the
if he's in
phone or
San Diego.
something?
Or we could Skype him in. He would know how to do that. He edits podcasts a lot.
Yeah. That's one of his main gigs. I remember being up there, during one of his work days. I think it was like a resting day for us or something at one point, and then
Was it the day before we
left
went north to Olympia?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was working. I think we gave him the last bottle, that Topo Chico, and
Yeah. He wasn't gonna open
he
it.
didn't want to drink it. He said he wanted to save it for special occasions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He did
He
that.
put it on the floor next to his work desk, and he just set it there for the couple of days that we were staying with him.
Just to look at it. Full.
He's not
Look
staying.
at it.
Yeah.
And now you guys catch up with him later, and he's got a full Topo Chico cellar beneath his house. Just like
Last time we
properly aged Topo Chico to reach full maturity.
Yeah.
I went through 24 bottles in like June or July, and so my mom was like using the empty glass bottles for flowers and stuff.
Sick. Topo Chico, that's where it's at.
Topo Chico, please sponsor us.
Yeah.
I would love a
Endorsements.
Double Chico sponsorship.
I love drinking Topo Chico on my Casper mattress after receiving a clean shave from Dollar Shave Club.
Don't forget Topo Chico to wash down the nature box.
Oh yeah, Topo Chico pairs nicely with Nature Box and Blue Apron. It pairs with all the best podcast sponsors. Topo Chico.
Yeah. Especially when you're laying on that purple mattress.
You guys ever seriously looking at sponsorships?
We want to do it. I kind of want to reach out to local businesses because I think that'd be cool if they're down.
Yeah. But for now, we're just having fun with the bit of thinking that people would actually pay us money to talk about.
I've just
product.
been posting up everything. Whenever I have a show or something, I'll post up, like Backwoods cigars or Evian water. I'm looking for endorsements. For Evian.
I don't think
Little Yachty was 7-Up.
Yeah. I'm looking for
Ariel
Evian.
was runner-up like 1 year to get a Carlo Rossi sponsorship.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So that Carlo Rossi did it's 2013. Carlo Rossi did was starting to tap into Facebook and getting people like riled up with free wine for a year and all that
Fuck
stuff.
yeah, man.
So they had this competition thing where like, snap a picture with a bottle of your favorite Carlo Rossi, and if it gets voted the best one, you'll have a year of the remaining year of fucking wine or whatever. And I got number 2.
Yeah.
I was so close.
Damn.
I was
Did
so
you get
close.
anything out of it?
No.
Ah.
There
I
you go.
heard in the...
It's like how they say it, man.
Yeah.
It's either your first or your last, man. That's it.
I heard in the LA punk scene, I never confirmed this, but like somebody I know, lifetime year sponsorship, so they get free yerba mate. Another friend wrote a letter to the company, and it was well worded enough that they signed on to it.
Wow. Goddamn.
I think I just need a well word. What's up? I saw one. I was doing.
I
one
need to
for-
well word. That's all I need to
I
do.
need a well word.
It's supposedly easy to get an Ernie Ball sponsorship, and like even if you don't need like their strings, they sell wheels too, so that you could put on amps.
Oh shit! I need some wheels for this mic stand that I'm gonna be using at the
Wheel
shows.
mic stand.
The
Ernie Ball
wheels.
mic stand.
Need these
Yeah,
casters,
boy.
fresh casters. Yeah, no, it'd be cool. I was looking at a couple out here.
Or like you hit up Digitech so you get free pedals.
See, that's what I need.
Tara
I need,
Mills got that.
I need a Digitech one for the because I use the Jam Man.
Yeah.
that's my main, and that's what I use for. And if it wasn't for the Jam Man, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do the sounds that I'm doing now because I use its built-in metronome to play the drums. I got my samples saved on there. It's very convenient. Has the
Yeah, I've seen how you play with the Jam Man. I kind of like what you've got going on there better than my looping pedal. I got a Boss RC3, which is still good. It just like has some kinks that like I would change if I made it.
Yeah. See, and with the I've had some RCs as well. Like RC2 was the one when it first came out. It had the double. It was a double pedal.
Yeah.
I used that for a tour in 07, and it was good. But I guess. If you really want more convenience, if you really want,
Yeah, the Jam Man looks
the
sick.
Jam Man,
Yeah, it looks pretty
Digitech really has it down. Please endorse me.
Yeah, you may have seen on my pedal board, I have a little like silver foot switch, 2-foot switches.
Yeah.
I got it for $30 from this guy, Greg of Funky Fabrications. He's on Facebook. I'm gonna plug him because he makes good stuff. Like he modifies like Ibanez and DoD pedals too.
Yeah, nice.
So he made like this little foot switch for my RC3, so I could stop with one button instead of the two.
See,
press.
that's really nice, and then they should just.
And I could tap tempo with the other button on there.
Imagine getting a DoD sponsorship.
Fuck. The sickest fucking noise band, the sickest anything, everything. DoD.
For a split
DOD.
second, I thought you meant DoD is in the Department of Defense. This podcast brought to you by the Department of Defense.
Defend the
DoD
homeland.
pedals made a comeback. Like they reissued some of the most popular ones.
The meat box.
Yeah, the meat
Yeah,
box.
yeah.
It's like $300.
The Gonculator, which is also
it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
the
So
Gonculator.
$20 pedals originally.
Yeah, the Gonk was another one by DoD that I have on my rig. So I go Jam Man, and then I go Gonk. I have this Gonculator, which was also part of the rebuild or the remakes and stuff. But yeah, no man, DoD. You got to get one of those.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same company, Digitech, DoD. I assume. But
Esteban's over here tweeting.
I'm trying to find the photo of the Carlo Rossi thing, but
Oh, I left my phone in the fucking car
Yeah,
like a
I
genius.
can't find it.
I actually had I had it at hand because you sent it to me.
Yeah, I sent it to you, and I had it, but I can't find it.
Yeah, man, it was cool. I had this sick little Sonic Youth T-shirt and whatever. It was fucking cool shot down at the canyon where this guy used to live.
Well, not
And-
in the canyon. But
Well, no, he didn't live in the canyon, but
He's a canyon man.
canyon man.
I wish I could get a sponsorship by Softec.
No, yeah.
Oh, that would be so cool.
They have not been around since.
Electro Harmonics has done the
But that is
reissues of
dead.
those, right?
Yeah, they put
Just
their
get an
own name
Electro
on it, but
Harmonics.
it's the same app.
Yeah. Well, I'd assume like the reissues are American parts, not like the Soviet war capacitors
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, but I mean, I guess Softec is still around, but they only make tubes,
Yeah.
and they're still in Russia, but they're owned by Electro Harmonics.
Yeah.
Which funny story, I went to this year's
Nam.
Nam?
Yeah. You went down to Nam.
yeah
You
I
went down.
to the Nam.
You were in Nam.
yeah
Oh,
the
the Nam.
NAM convention, and I saw Mike Matthews, the owner of Electro Harmonics. I was trying to talk to him, but I mean, people were lining up for interviews, and they all had microphones and cameras, and
So you were like kind of shy.
yeah,
about it,
yeah. And this guy was sitting there, and he had a cigar in his hand in the fucking convention center.
Yeah, Jack just got a wood pipe in Boston.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I was working on a tall ship for a couple months. A couple people who worked with me on the boat already had wood pipes that they would just sit out on the bow while we were underway and just smoke tobacco out of and look out into the middle distance all meaningfully. And I'd be like, "Fuck, I want to do that." So it seemed like the sailory thing to do. So when I got into Boston, I asked my buddy Lincoln where he got his, and he said, "Oh yeah, he went to a shop in Boston Commons called L.J. Peretti." So I went to L.J. Peretti Smoke Shop, which has a kick-ass statue of Edgar Allan Poe out front.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and it's like a statue of him like walking down the street,
Where's
and like
it-
his suitcase opens and papers are
Where's-
flying out, and then the
where's it
papers turn
by?
into ravens.
Where's it by?
It's like out by Boston Commons. So
Boston Commons.
yeah, I don't remember the exact street name, but yeah, I just went in there, I tried out a couple pipes, and then I bought one. And now that I'm back in California where things are how they're supposed to be, I smoke weed out of it, and it feels
Feels right.
it feels classy as shit. It lends a certain legitimacy to getting high. That's all I'm saying.
It allows you to keep on staring out in the distance and then eventually just drifting.
I'm just drifting.
With the just drift.
I'm just adrift.
That's tight. That's tight.
Nice and warm in here.
Yeah. Yeah, more drinks.
Oh, but dude, now I go to parties and people break out the weed. And I'm like, hey guys,
I could break out the pipe.
you want to
You
do
bust
it all
out the-
classy and shit? It's a special occasion.
Corn
It's
cob
never really a
pipe.
special
Yeah,
occasion.
yeah. No, you bust out the wooden little case it comes in.
Oh,
it
yeah.
lays in.
I didn't get a wooden case.
You engraved the case with
You
your
engraved
name.
the case.
I
Yeah,
got like the metal like packing and cleaning tool,
Sky.
the like multi tool for pipe care, and I've got a bunch of like quality pipe cleaners. But that's
Sky vodka would be a good endorsement.
ooh yeah.
Made in America.
Well, maybe not for this podcast because I had to very very verbosely swear off vodka because when I drink vodka, bad things happen.
Yeah, I swore off tequila for the same reason.
I never have a
yeah.
problem with tequila or whiskey or rum or gin. It's just vodka. Vodka fucks me up.
Yeah.
I always drink more than I think I can, and then bad things happen.
Do you guys just drink anything?
Mostly drink.
Mostly beer?
Mostly beer and whiskey for me. So I've been going through a real like cognac kick.
Oh, yeah. I've been
Right
buying
on.
Henny, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
Brought to you by
Henny
Hennessy.
bug. Yeah, yeah. Where's Henny at?
yeah. Hennessy's okay. It's really strong.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
taste nearly as good as like the competitors.
What do you drink?
I think
But
Crevassier is the best.
it's the
Uh-huh.
big name. So
Right, and there's one called Landy, which I think is really good.
oh yeah, I'm familiar with Andy.
yeah.
Okay, when I listen
I think
back
I've had
to
it
this,
once.
I'm gonna check those out because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Henny's the one with the name recognition. You know?
Yeah, and
Because it gets all those shout outs and rap
It
videos.
gets in rap videos.
Landy is just a little. It's got like a blue crest on it, and it's got a little dog. It looks like a kind of like a greyhound standing.
Oh, I have
Yeah, yeah.
seen that.
Yeah, and those taste the best. Crevassier and Landy. Hennessy, I just tried recently, and it's like the top shit, but it's really strong.
Yeah.
So you don't need to
Yeah.
drink too much of it.
So it's
Not
the
too much, a
it's-
lot of
It's
it.
the frugal choice for cognac.
Yeah,
It's most bang for your buck. Maybe not the best tasting, but
right.
Yeah, like
it'll
it
fuck
makes
you up
sense
quick.
why it's like more expensive than like other drinks? Like the big bottle is like $40 something, like the small one's $25.
Yeah, I paid 40 for the big bottle. A bottle of Landy will cost you like 20.
Nice.
And Landy's much better tasting.
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, get Landy. Hell yeah. I've been doing like Tullamore Dew. Yeah.
What is it?
It's like a scotch.
Yeah,
whiskey.
it's scotch.
It's
Sketch.
Yeah, no, that was
we
good.
gotta take it to that bartender to see what he thinks.
Oh yeah, okay. So there's this fucking stupid bartender I'm gonna call out.
Oh shit!
Call out posts.
Oh yeah.
I try to make shit as like
Yeah. So a couple years ago, I think right before I did the last podcast with you guys, I was cutting hair.
I think you told us you had just left that job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was cutting hair a little bit right before I left that, and one of the things I used to like to do is after work just drive up to the Monkey Paw down here in downtown.
Mm-hmm. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, and just drink.
That should be written on the sign. If the bar is called the Monkey Paw, they should just write "Careful what you wish for."
Yeah, and they sell, besides their beers and other people's, other companies' beers, they sell drinks, liquor or whatever, spirit. So, and there's this one dude, this guy, fucking Bonnie Prince Billy.
he looks just like Bonnie Prince Billy.
Yeah,
I love his music.
Yeah, I love his music
yeah, he
too.
looks. This fucking guy, whatever his fucking name is.
Let's
Let's
just call him that.
I see a
Bolly
darkness when I
Prince
cut my own hair.
That's so good.
So Bonnie Prince Billy used to bartend on Sundays, and we show up and we drink. He'll try to talk to us about how he had his honeymoon in Scotland and how they were going around and drinking. It was cool.
I do want to go to Scotland.
Yeah, we all do. It
Sounds awesome.
It sounds
Yeah,
great.
sounds
But
like
I'll probably know.
Mahomeland.
We're 1/8 Scottish.
We're something Scottish.
I can't do a Scottish accent. Jack can. We love Scottish Twitter. It's awesome.
Oh, you can't. Shit, I don't got nothing.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Scottish Twitter is something
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
They write out the Scottish accent phonetically.
Do you guys know
there's
any
like-
good Scottish bands? Like besides Mogwai?
There's one I saw. We were promised jetpacks. Yeah, they're kind of like indie rock, post-hardcore at times. They were pretty good. I saw them at Ironic.
Oh, nice.
And
Isn't it ironic?
What's interesting about Scottish bands is they assume like an American accent to sing. We were promised jetpacks. They have the full Scottish accent, but it still sounds
Oh,
good.
that's so good.
It's sort of like how Ozzy Osbourne is completely incomprehensible these days, except when he sings.
singing, yeah.
And then he sings perfect phonetic English.
Yeah. That's so weird.
But like,
that's a
his
good one.
mind is so destroyed by drugs that he can't form cohesive sentences when he's talking. But it's like when you do something while you're blackout drunk and then you don't remember it, but then you get blackout drunk again and then you remember exactly what you did.
So you have to keep on getting blackout
So it's like
drunk
that
every time
it's
you
like
perform.
he
Like
can,
the plot of Beer Fest.
he can only speak normally when he's singing, which
in
is
that
when he was at
constant
his
state.
highest. So he's destroyed his brain so much that he can't talk normally.
And he still does
but he
it,
can still
doesn't he?
sing normally because that's when he was
the singing
most
is,
fucked
like,
up.
almost muscle memory or like
Yeah.
vocal.
True, yeah,
memory.
But also, like when he was
coming from somewhere
when you're
else.
performing, that's when you're the
He's
most
channeling the
fucked
devil,
up.
Of course.
So he's still remembering that. We're dissecting Ozzy Osbourne now.
Yeah.
This is a metal podcast now.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
over.
It's kind of dipped in and out of that for the last 15 episodes. So
Yeah, because Jack and I, when we were teenagers, we used to go to more metal and punk shows.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Jack's seen Slipknot and Converge
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
with me. The Converge show was tight. Like 6 all good bands. Cabell Attack played. Nails, ACXDC. It was like close to Halloween, so there were Teletubbies moshing in the pit.
Oh, there was the one Teletubby.
Oh, it was just one.
There
I
was
thought it was 2 guys.
Yeah, it was a guy in what's the purple one? Is that Tinky Winky?
The dead one. He's
dead one?
the dead one. He's the dead one.
What?
Yeah.
Elaborate.
No. So yeah, he died.
The actor in the suit died, or did they canonically kill off Tinky Winky on the show?
No. The actor in the suit died. He died like a couple
man.
years ago.
While
a year
filming?
ago. No.
Yeah, the Teletubby set is haunted. I'm sorry. An actual human being is dead. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I bet in the morgue and shit, like, it's, how, like, some of the, corpses will, like, kind of, like, go up, and his TV just turns on and shit.
I wonder if they buried him in
most
a
horrifying
costume.
thing in the world. He's still in the costume. He's sitting on the slab in the morgue, and suddenly Tinky Winky just sits upright and
his
turns,
TV
and his TV turns
turns
head
on.
to the mortician who's got his headphones in, so he can't hear him coming.
So his TV turns on.
I should really stop doing this bit. It's just that it's so funny to me, but I should stop because that's an actual human being who's dead. I should probably stop doing it.
But his television turns on, and then the guy that has the headphones like freaks out.
Well, I'm really surprised if it's been the same guy this whole time.
I don't know. I think that Teletubbies is a pretty cushy gig. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you only have to get in a hot ass suit in what I assume is an air conditioned soundstage, and then prance around for about 20 minutes.
You make the same episode.
I was an
every day.
Easter Bunny character for a month.
You find something on the ground, you pick it up, you go, ooh, and then you all look at one of the screens on your bellies, and then you're like, again, and then you're like, yay, roll credits. If you're getting paid like SAG standard payment, that's a cushy fucking gig.
It is, especially if you have to be in a suit and you have to.
And you're never going to get typecast because you're in a suit. Nobody actually knows what you look like. You can go and get like a gritty HBO show on the side. Like, just perform in that, like, shoot a guy dead in a trunk and then just show up the next day to film Teletubbies.
So, like, everybody assumes, like, being in, like, a costume like that, it's got to be hot. Like, anyone could guess that. What was bothering me more when I was the Easter Bunny character at Navy Exchange was, like, waiting for bathroom breaks.
Oh, yeah, because it's a whole production getting in and out of that thing.
Yeah, it takes, like, 5 minutes to get in or out of.
They really should just give you a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Walk around with catheter and shit.
Why is the
like
Easter Bunny...
system.
Mommy, why is the Easter Bunny limping? Oh, honey, that's because all the catheter pools on his right side, so his right leg is heavier than his left. It's filled with piss and poop. Are you happy you understood the truth now, honey? No!
It's the same bag.
It's the same.
I mean,
That is the question.
At that point, don't worry about being sanitary. It's all winding up. It all winds up in the same toilet, so why shouldn't it all wind up in the same bag?
Oh God, that's a
Ian, we're
disgusting
solving your problems for you.
fucking suit.
My problems from 2013.
Yeah, you've never done any mascot work since, so we're solving problems for the next you.
No, it was just like a friend who was a manager, so she brought me in, no interview. Like, I did it for a month, $10 an hour, which was higher than minimum wage at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year was this?
That was, I believe, 2013. If I'm
Yeah,
recalling.
it was either late 2012 or
$8.50 or something like that.
yeah, it was either
Now minimum wage is in San Diego is $11.50. Take that, Texas.
Yeah, it was either late
Yeah.
2012 or early 2013 because I remember I was still in high school at the time. It was my senior year, and I was like, "Oh man, I wish I wasn't in school all the time. I'd go over there and I'd fuck with him while he's in the Easter Bunny costume."
Yeah, it was a lot of families who came to that, like military families, so they were pretty respectful. Like, I would have some shifts where I was in the costume and then some where I was a cashier. Like, there were like 3 or 4 of us at a time, so we would rotate in the roles. And like, there was one person like making sure the pictures got printed out correctly and all that.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the time that when you were working at SeaWorld for a week, for 1 week,
I worked 3 weeks and then I quit. I lost my shit and quit.
But he got these passes, and he was like, hey, let's go hang out. I got these free passes before I get fired.
I stopped showing up to work a couple of days before we went to see.
Yeah, they had him doing grunt work or
free.
something, from what I remember. But it was reminding me of going on that whatever that thing that goes, the little elevator thing.
Yeah, I forgot what that's called.
What, a little skybox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they take your picture before you go into the skybox, and then they make you do a pose where you're like holding something. and then they go ahead and like put these stickers, like I guess, on there with software of like turtles or like dolphins, like you're holding.
We had a penguin, right?
There's a penguin and there's a couple of sea turtles, and I don't think you're supposed to touch sea turtles because I don't know. Yeah, but
Wait, so
You need to wash your hands after touching a turtle or a tortoise.
Yeah, they are covered in salmonella and shit.
yeah, and so they totally photoshopped us holding these.
Yeah.
Fucking sea
So wait,
turtles.
you worked in
holding salmonella.
So wait, you worked in the photo booth? Or
Well,
what did they have you doing?
Well, I used to work night shift at SeaWorld. This was before Blackfish. Before that big
yeah,
explosion.
before the
they-
shit hit the fan.
everybody started hanging out.
Yeah, before people hated SeaWorld, so it was always packed. But I used to work the night shift there. And the weird thing about working the night shift, well, okay, first, SeaWorld is very wholesome, family oriented.
Yeah, of course. It's an amusement park. It has to be.
You're not allowed to have facial hair, right?
Uh-huh.
Unless it's
immoral.
unless it's like
Hair
part of
naturally
your,
growing out of your face is against God's will.
Right, exactly. Unless it's like something
Yeah.
like related to your religion, then you can.
That's actually a lot of workplaces though. Like I worked at a movie theater, and like the managers would tell me, "Oh, you haven't trimmed your mustache in a while." You should do
I
that."
know, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think at least professional looking facial hair should not be a big fucking deal.
No,
Like if you've got like a huge fucking neck beard and like a patchy mustache, then maybe get your shit together. But otherwise,
that's my life, man. So like,
You're-
shaving.
you
I'm
look
grown out.
you look well groomed right here. This shouldn't what you have right in front of me right now should not be an issue for anybody.
Yeah, like I like your Amish beard and like barely a mustache.
yeah.
so I used to work.
Decent look.
I used to
He's
work there
pulling it off.
overnight. I was like the cleaning guy overnight.
Yeah.
He was
I
he was
took
a
that
butter
job
turner
because
overnight.
this was like 2013. It paid about $12 an hour, which was really good back
Yeah.
then. So I used to work there overnight. The weird thing about working at SeaWorld overnight cleaning is that they shut all the lights off in the park.
Ooh, spooky.
All the-
Spooky.
and-
Okay, Jurassic World was a piece of shit movie, but they made it a metaphor for SeaWorld, which I kind of liked. And like, if this was the time for the sea creatures to break out and start killing people, this would be the time. Like for SeaWorld to go all Jurassic Park,
just had these legs
Shamu
tucked
breaks
away.
out and gets revenge.
You know, Shamu's like really a T-Rex. you know?
Evolution. Jeff Goldblum warned us about what would happen at SeaWorld.
He knew.
That's why he steps into the box and turns into a fly, so he can fly away.
Yeah,
So-
the Jeff Goldblum expanded universe. Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum has like he's putting out a jazz album.
What?
Pretty soon.
Oh yeah, he's in a band now.
Yeah.
Shit, I'll listen to
Like
that.
he's been a
Yeah.
musician for years, but like this is his first thing on a major
It's
label.
like a band of celebrities, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
wanna hear it.
who's in it? Who's in it other than him?
I don't remember. I just know Jeff Goldblum's in it, and like they'll play a show every couple of years, and it's real weird. It's like a mixture of like what everybody likes. So it's like some jazz and then some rock.
You know who
Some
should
blues.
collab with him? What's that one dude? Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman.
Oh,
should-
he's
Oh,
too
boy.
Oh
good.
yeah,
He's
his
too
terrible
good.
album.
No, I thought it was good, man.
Oh,
was
and
great,
get
man.
Bruce Willis on there with all of his
Yeah.
platinum hits.
Get H. John Benjamin on there to be the jazz daredevil.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. We diverged.
Okay. So, the only way you would get any kind of lighting is that they would hand you these like headlamps.
Oh
You have to wear a
Jesus,
headlamp.
that just makes it spookier. You can only
So,
see exactly where you're
What's
looking.
in front of you? Yeah. So all the lights are off. You're walking around. You hear all these animals, doing their animal sounds at night. So there were all these ghost stories too about SeaWorld. There's all these ghost stories that
Yeah.
people don't really talk about too much. But
Yeah.
there's one part where there's supposed to be a girl that got killed by Shamu,
Yeah.
who supposedly walks around without legs. And
Like
I went-
she just hovers about 2 feet off the ground.
yeah, and
Just
I
kind of
went
moving her nubs
exactly
in a walking like motion.
and I went looking for her, which is true. There have been deaths by Shamu at SeaWorld.
Yeah.
So
Oh
I
yeah,
went
that's
looking
what the
for
whole
her.
documentary was about.
Exactly. So I went looking for her. Of course, I
Murder
didn't
is
find
the
anything.
case.
But the
You went around looking for the ghost.
yeah, because I was working alone. I mean, everybody who works there works.
What
there.
you need is infrared goggles, man,
I thought I should have had some extra gear with me.
or a Polaroid. Digital doesn't catch ghosts.
Working as a projectionist, like to 3 or 4 a.m. shifts, got a little creepy too. Like being up in the booth, and like when I worked there, like we all had like a running joke that there were ghosts in Theater 5.
Oh, dude, working on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and there's like, you're not in a storm, but you look to the horizon and you can see lightning, and like you're the only one awake.
The open ocean gets scary, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a reason why there are so many fucking ghost stories that center around sailors, because it's fucking spooky.
Yeah, it's even ended up in SpongeBob.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it's in SpongeBob, you know it's for real.
Yeah.
But
Real-
yeah, like
real talk.
when we got to Boston, I was living there for over a month, and we were docked right up alongside the New England Aquarium. So all through the night, we were hearing seals, just and like the digital whale sounds that they would put in the speakers that for some reason they didn't turn off after the aquarium closed. So we would just have to hear that and the seals all through the night, and like.
Spin flow. Spin
I would have
flow.
thought that was really spooky if I hadn't also spent nights out on the open ocean
Yeah.
when I'm the only one on watch. And like we're at anchor, the ocean's all calm, but off in the distance there's lightning. and I'm just waiting to see if I hear it or not. And just like there's everything creaks and cracks and groans, and I'm just like, and like occasionally there's a splash in the water, like on the moon. I'm like, what the fuck was that? What was it? What was it?
Jack and I have.
There's no lights. There's like a few Christmas lights that
Yeah.
keep the deck partially lit, and that's it. And you're blind.
Jack and I have some other good stories about like being in lightning storms and seals from when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
So I guess I'll do lightning storms first. We went on a trip in the motorhome in our backyard, like up through Las Vegas and Utah, Wyoming. We ended up in Glacier National Park. So like when we were halfway there in Utah, like we pulled off onto this dirt road and we tried to sleep through a lightning storm, and the motorhome was acting like a lightning rod.
Oh yeah, because it's just a bunch of
It's just a bunch of old metal from the 70s.
It's a big metal can from 1975. And now this is an aluminum can ASMR podcast. Crush it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was reminding me of.
We're crushing down some empty ones with the boys.
You ever seen those videos of the lady eating the pickle?
What?
All right, so there's a lady that eats these really crunchy pickles with a sick condenser, microphone, and they're just it's just so horrible.
Some people are doing jokes on ASMR too. Like I found one where they were like pretending to be Spanish teachers, like telling everybody to quiet down in Spanish and like pulling out hot Cheetos and crinkling the bag.
Silencio.
Wait.
Like, dude, we want to start doing audiobooks in ASMR.
Silencio.
Oh, for some reason I got a weird boner. Apparently people get turned. People get turned on by ASMR, and I don't get
there's
it.
a lot of girls who do it because like they know that's a thing.
Yeah. Shit, I should get in on that. There is no easier way to make money on the internet than appealing to people's
Just get
boners.
like a cool little soundboard of those little reactions of like.
I would love to do a soundboard ASMR of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like all the famous lines he's done.
Put that cookie
Hey, remember?
down.
No.
Cop, you idiot.
Get to the chopper. It's not a tumor.
They had the Bruce
I'll be
Campbell.
back.
They had a Bruce Campbell one like that. The soundboards back in those websites. What is it?
Something like
Newgrounds.
Newgrounds.
Fucking Newgrounds.
World.
Did you guys
Newgrounds.
watch E-Bombs World too?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
all
god.
the time.
Play games on Mini Club.
Yeah. E-fucked. E-fucked. You guys watch?
Dude, like early internet childhood.
Yeah.
Well, when I was at SeaWorld, actually, there was a guy I worked with who was really into E-fucked, and all he talked was about the latest videos he would see on.
I don't know. I didn't know it was still around.
Numa, yeah,
I think that one.
Yeah. But like there is no easier and faster way to make money on the internet than appealing to people's boners, which is why I try to make money off of commissions for my art on the internet, and I feel like I just got to bite the bullet and go furry. Like those people pay good money for art. They do.
They do.
They are the only ones on the planet who actually pay good commission prices and don't complain when you name your price. So I feel like I just got to bite the bullet and draw a bunch of anthropomorphic dog boys with red rockets.
So I heard a furry story at a show.
More, please.
This guy I met, Andy, he was saying like he goes back into like the archives of San Diego Union Tribune, and he found one from like 2006 where there was a furry convention in San Diego, not the convention center, but somebody like gas bombed it and was like trying to poison them on purpose.
Fuck, that's right.
Shit.
Dude, there are other things to get upset about besides furries. Like, just don't look at it.
Like,
just walk away.
As long as they're not hurting anyone, like they can have that niche. Like, it's fine.
As long as they aren't hurting, as long as they aren't like intruding on people or getting kids involved or being Nazis, just like
buying heavy advertisements so we
like,
can all see
everybody
it's
has their
around.
thing, you know?
Yeah. Do whatever you want. Just don't wrap everybody else up in it and don't hurt anybody. It's like
Stop paying for ads.
I'm uncomfortable around it, which is why I'm not around it. Yeah. My solution is not to gas bomb people. What the fuck?
Loathe.
Anyway,
loathe life.
Anyway, lightning story.
Lightning story. Oh, going back to there.
Oh wait. Question. So would it be a furry if somebody decided to do a Shamu thing without the fur?
I feel like that's
possibly with.
I feel that's in the same realm, but a little bit disattached.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about drilling an anthropomorphic orca, or just like actually fucking Shamu, because one of those is like
That's bestiality.
Yeah, I would assume that the other one is like a subset of furry. I'm guessing they have their own name for it, and the other one's just straight up bestiality. And like that animal has suffered enough.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
It would probably kill
I was
you,
just
too.
thinking like somebody was trying to do an orca like costume, but obviously an orca is not furry, so they would have to.
It is
Oh,
mammal.
wait a minute!
Is
You
a
do
mammal.
like a super accurate orca costume where it has like orca-like skin, like with the right texture and everything, and then you just have to have somebody around to like spritz you every couple minutes.
No, you just
Like you just have like
a little
you just-
backpack.
Yeah, you just
that
have like
kinda
a
automatic-
squire following you around with a spritz bottle, just
You
keeping
know,
you
like
wet.
when you go to like a grocery store and it just kind of sprays the vegetables. That's what it does.
Oh yeah, you gotta have a
Oh, yeah,
you gotta
the
have
water
a,
mist.
you gotta have a
Yeah.
mister.
Get a
Yeah.
mister.
You gotta be followed around by Mister.
How are we gonna get our music in grocery stores, dude?
Oh, I could see cheap
I mean,
windows being.
You start.
Yeah, my
start
I
piano
go to
music-
Barron's. I'm shopping
start
for
with
some
co-ops.
yams.
Co-ops are probably more open to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
Co-ops.
I'm gonna go into like whatever co-op is in OB and say, hey, I have like ambient piano music that will fit in your store.
Yeah,
I think you
just
should
go
do
into
it for Starbucks, man.
Yeah.
Like I could see your music being played at Starbucks.
Weird thing. All right.
It'd be funny. It'd be funny.
Vaughn's in Chula Vista, I heard Level Tear Us Apart by Joy Division, and it was the
Oh,
weirdest
nice.
thing hearing that song, and they're like, this is shopping music now?
So,
Yeah.
dude, just guitar music for shopping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Guitar music
Yeah.
for
Shopping.
Make an album.
good idea,
Yeah,
dude.
make an ambient album specifically for it, and
shopping.
then track
take-
that shit
And
around.
watch it.
And I'll
It's
take
gonna
a
happen.
photo of
You
me
should
with
do,
it, like
like, a
my
shop-
bag in Smart and Final.
Yeah.
You should just do
Bring
like a
you
whole,
bring your own bags, like the ones that say "Hey, reusable bag" or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do a whole series of guitar music.
Yeah.
Guitar music for exercise.
Guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've thought about this. I was gonna
The
do
one-
like piano music for dentistry.
Yeah, I was trying to pitch one for him, like guitar music or piano music for the trap house, like because like when you're trapping, you could be listening to trap music, but then like
But then
what
you
if
need
you're
a
really
break.
getting, but
Like,
yeah, you need a
some
break.
like go to sleep music.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
like you're on so many Xans.
Yeah, you're on so many Xans, and then you're trying to concentrate and get the right measures, to make to flip flick it around. You feel me? So I was trying to pitch that.
Yeah, I'll do that eventually. Like next up in the queue, like after my self-titled, is a collaboration with Menti. She does like electronic music with harp. That one's gonna be good. Another, I have an idea for. I think it came from Jack. Really, is a concept album about being a lonely trucker.
yeah. Oh yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
Ian.
good.
Ian was talking on
music
a
for
long road
trucking.
trip. Ian was talking about how if his health was more stable, he'd be interested in becoming a trucker.
Yeah.
Like just,
I've looked into the lifestyle. Like I've watched YouTube videos.
just
from
being
them,
able to
their
like
diaries
drive
and
out
all
on the
that.
open road, just nothing but you in the road and your rig.
Maybe you could, man. Like
Guitar
build a
music
rig.
for driving alone.
And so
Yeah,
I'm
that's so good.
encouraging that, but like also I was saying like in the meantime, just explore the lifestyle and like make a concept album as a trucker, like in the character, create a persona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the title's gonna be "I'm a popular guy," and it's gonna be like a trashy photo of me at a truck stop, like a Flying J or something.
You gotta have like a trucker hat, flannel, and I'll lend you my aviators.
There should be like a track at the end where like you die of an aneurysm or something.
Yeah.
Because
On the road.
On the road.
Yeah, you
Horrible
don't, make, you
burnout.
don't make it back home.
Yeah,
You
you,
make
you
it
were
back
you were
home.
driving a car with a hazmat payload, so an entire small town got poisoned.
Yeah.
It was a real tragedy all around.
Last night after
Some-
we got
some-
But you're a popular guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell
I'm
us
a
tell a
popular
story
guy.
tell a story that Tom Waits would write a song about.
Yeah. Last night after the Padres game, I bought American Truck Simulator on Steam. To
I
get, like, a taste of
I
it.
told him about it. Yeah.
Damn.
So like I was hoping it was going to be like a long haul sort of situation. San Diego to Bakersfield only took 20 minutes, not like the 5 hours it actually takes.
Yeah.
Like that would be a lot of programming to get
It's-
that much gameplay. into
life is
it.
like-
It's a taste at least.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like long haul mods that like double or triple the amount of time.
Yeah, I'll probably end up buying European Truck Simulator too. For American Truck Simulator, like I bought the bundle pack with all the DLC, so I get a little bit more. You guys play any games?
I know a couple. Not lately. but-
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on PS2.
Get out.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't really gotten into any games since I had a PS2.
Restroom, around
Sorry,
the
guys.
corner of the middle room.
No, I got some.
Yeah, no, I haven't played any games since I played like Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Oh yeah, I used to play Grand Theft Auto a lot at friends'
Yeah,
houses.
yeah.
Yeah, we played a lot of games over at friends' houses.
because our parents didn't allow consoles. We only had Game Boys here.
Yeah. See, I had Nintendo up until around like 2000,
Yeah.
and then like my aunt bought me a PS1. And I lost my mind for a little bit. Then I got a PS2 for Christmas later, a couple years later. And after that, I just I really only played like 1 or 2 games ever. Like I think after San Andreas, I kind of like stopped being interested in video games. But Grand Theft Auto is like the first video game I played where I felt like full like freedom.
Yeah. I liked when you could get in a helicopter in Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. It was funny when like old ladies would be the best fighters.
Old ladies would kick your ass.
They'd go chase you.
Yeah.
Get back here, you son of a bitch! Oh, fuck your shit up! There's another like glitch like that ended up in Civilization 3, which Jack and I played a lot. Like Gandhi, like the first Civilization, he went so far negative that he ended up being like a warlord.
Yeah, it was
like,
it was the whole story is that like, you know, there's different stats for each leader, and like once you like different achievements like change your stats. So like one of the achievements like lowers your aggression by 2. And if Gandhi as an NPC achieves that, he starts out at 0 aggression. So if it takes him into the negative, it takes him all the way back to 9,999 aggression. So he becomes the most aggressive, horrible warlord in the game. And that was a bug in the first one. But after that, they were like, holy shit, this is so funny. We're just going to keep doing it. And so now it's like a feature in Civilizations 2 through 5. Do they still do it in 5?
Yeah, they still do it in 5.
All right, so yeah, it holds.
Like Gandhi is super aggressive. We'll launch nukes on you immediately.
After a certain point of development, Gandhi becomes super aggro.
So those video games.
It's
all those video games.
All
that Grand Theft
them
Auto
video
on
games.
PS2.
Oh,
I actually like in senior year of high school.
ASMR crushing cans.
In senior year of high school, I got my friend's laptop that he didn't want anymore because it was old as shit and he wanted to trade up for something new. I still used it for like 4 or 5 years, even though it was on
games.
Even though it was on his last legs. I wouldn't have used it for games if left to my own devices, but it still had all of his games installed on it. So I played a bunch of those.
Like some RuneScape, some fucking Medal of Honor, Allied Assault.
Fucking,
yeah,
fucking,
dude, I used to love that one.
Fucking Half-Life and TF2. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ever play the Medal of Honor Allied Assault? You know, you could choose to be the Allies or the Axis.
No, I don't.
And then,
I
you
don't
know, it
think
was
so.
free. It was like one of the first, I want to say it was one of the first for free.
Yeah,
massive
like
online
multiplayer
like
games.
World War.
It was World War II. And
yeah.
basically,
I played our cousin's copy of Call of Duty. Yeah, he had a few.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun, man.
What year was this? Like 2004, 2005?
Yeah, and it went on for a good while. It was pretty sick. It was.
Yeah. I wonder if it's still around.
No, it still is, and like people hack it. You know, it looks pretty fun.
Yeah,
like, you get to
the
jump
whole
on buildings and kill
thing
people.
took on like it was on like Stalingrad,
Yeah,
and it was just Nazis versus like Americans.
it was fun.
Oh, there's some rapper who followed me on Instagram. Like, he has a lyric about the Battle of Stalingrad. And he's like Korean and lives in Montreal. It's awesome.
Cool. What I didn't know is that RuneScape is apparently still around. Like
I miss the old. I miss the old. You know the
yeah,
the old one.
they've upgraded it and it's all glossy. And shit. I'm like, this is not what I remember.
No.
This is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife.
Yeah,
This is not my beautiful
When
low poly
the
wife.
days go by and the waters flow.
Yeah, this is not my beautiful low poly wife.
Yeah, Jack and I grew up with Talking Heads.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, man.
Sucker killer.
David Byrne put out an album like either this year or last year. I still need to listen to
yeah,
it.
it's called like something
American something.
The American Dream or something.
Everybody's coming to
You know,
my
Ariel, we
house.
never talked about this.
What?
What's your favorite part of the tour?
Oh, this will be good.
All right. Favorite part of the tour was, I don't know, like not being home. Like no,
Just traveling,
I think it was all it all had its thing, even if it was shitty. There was something really cool about it. Like, and what by shitty I mean like something like, oh, it didn't turn out the way, like, you know, you start assuming like, hey, it's gonna be all right. But I think it was just the fact that we're just at it, like out of town, man. It's just
The freedom.
the freedom of
Leaving
like, you
for a
know,
bit.
taking a shit in the fucking truck stop. And,
Yeah.
At a Subway and a
at
truck
subway.
Ah.
And
The
then,
subway inside the flag, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
you know, hanging out with, you know, with folks that we know, like from, you know, out here, up there, living different lifestyles. And then even now, like just the fact that we're out there just doing noise music or what avant-garde or whatever,
Yeah,
or
you
anything,
guys- whatever
or
the fuck we're doing,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck that we're doing, like, you know,
I think
whatever.
the best part of touring and the most humbling thing is meeting people that you've only spoken to online.
Yeah, you meet internet friends in
Yeah,
person.
and
yeah,
sometimes-
I've done that too.
Sometimes you don't even know these people. You've only heard about them. You know, our friend Sam Lopez, who runs Stay Strange.
Shout out Sam Lopez.
Shout out Sam Lopez.
Sam Lopez.
He's the one who helped us book everything.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these people were like total strangers, but the way they took us in and they
Yeah.
helped us out with anything we needed was like, holy fuck. We're
Yeah,
both-
like it's humbling when people will pay for merch or say like, "Oh, do you have a place
Yeah.
to stay tonight? I have extra room." That
Yeah,
sort of thing.
we're total strangers, and they're
Shout
like
out, like,
welcoming, they're like welcoming.
Shout out
welcoming us
Ratskin.
into our house.
Yeah,
you know,
shout
it's
out,
like,
yeah, Mike Ratskin. Yeah,
Mike
shout out.
Ratskin. I
Yeah.
hope you feel better, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Um,
Shout out to him up in Oakland. He booked us at Pro Arts.
Yeah.
Pro Arts was you know, it was cool. It was a pain in the ass leaving Oakland, trying to go up to wherever, you know. But other than that, I think, man, like shout out to him. He's fucking dealing with all
Steve
that.
Flato, who housed us for like
Oh,
3
yeah.
nights straight.
Shout out Steve.
Yeah, Steve Flato for sure. Steve Flato has stories. Like I, you know, again, you should, you know, try to consider him for some type of podcast. Like he has stories, and he's a really good, you know, he's a really good cat, like a really good guy. He's trying, you know, he's doing his thing, and it's cool when you run into your people like out there, you know, somewhere that isn't
Steve was
home.
kind of struggling in Buffalo. Like, I'm glad he's got like a good place in
Oh
Portland
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Like, I'm
He's
sure you
doing
guys
good
saw
out there.
like
His-
staying in motels and all
Oh,
that.
he's doing good out there now in
Yeah.
Portland. Yeah, it was real cool staying with him. You know, we got to hear a lot of his stories.
And yeah, even just jamming. We even got to
Yeah,
jam
we got
with
to
him,
jam
so.
for a little
Oh
bit.
yeah,
He's
I
such
saw
a good
that on
guy.
Instagram stories
Yeah.
or something.
I put up a video on a YouTube channel. It was me, Esteban, and Steve playing his
Nice.
his rig, which is the guitar with the what was it, with the gizmo.
The Gizmotron
Gizmotron, yeah.
that acts like an Ebo
Yeah.
for every single string.
Yeah, super sick. Good cat, and he, like, you know, took us out. Like he was living right by the Max, which is like, you know, well, I guess the trolley that take you into the downtown.
Right into downtown.
Went out to Powell's. You got to go out to Powell's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. You know, it's funny going out to that bookstore was really cool because it was just insane. When I first went in there, I went in looking for all the books that I would try to struggle to find on Amazon. They had everything.
Yeah.
They had everything.
everything
One-
I was looking for.
One time I was on tour, like we were trying to kill time in LA, so we went to this like used bookstore in Burbank. I think it's called like Movie World or something.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of movie posters up, like just littered with books, like thousands of them
Yeah, I think I've
piling
been there.
outside the
Yeah.
shelf.
Just mountainous like Dr. Seuss mountain piles.
I think I bought a Kafka book that wasn't Metamorphosis, and like
Was it The Tower?
I don't know. I didn't end up reading it because the book fell apart with like every page turn.
Just like, fuck, I gotta preserve this.
Yeah.
Cracking cans on the mic.
Enjoy this
Yeah,
can
like
cracking
I've
podcast.
toured a few
Esteban.
times, like California, Oregon, Washington, and like tour has its trials and like bad experiences, but like it's really fun, and even the bad experiences like end up being a story later down the line. You could say like, "Oh, this shit happened to me on the road."
What the hell? This is supposed to be like fucking.
That's chemicals.
Is that a jewel?
Yeah, it's a jewel. Yeah, I'm just smoking this jewel. I just charged it, so I had to bring it out.
Yeah.
It's,
So what's in it?
This is a cucumber flavored. Like this
Oh,
is
nice.
a limited edition.
So it's like cucumber water, but less healthy.
Just imagine like putting like, you know, it's just smoking hot cucumber.
I thought it was watermelon.
I don't know if you realize just how great of a euphemism smoking hot cucumber is.
Dude, so like
I'm using that now. I'm using that.
I have an idea of reaching out to like local vape shops and seeing if they would be down to throw a show if like I give them a toss of like the donations. Like you could make it like a total 420 stoner flyer, you know?
Smoking hot cucumber.
Smoking hot cucumber, emo bands at the vape shop.
And then it's just like the picture on the poster is just a guy who's somehow turned a cucumber into a bong and is just smoking out of it. I'm sure somebody has done that.
Like
so.
if you throw shows, you have to make a meme flyer. Like that gets the people out. Even better if you could start a meme.
That's
thread
why.
in
That's
the
why
event
you know.
page.
That's why like bands like like new metal bands Slipknot and all that makes sense. And a
Oh,
lot
Jack
of,
could go on.
and then
Jack
and,
and I could
and,
go
and,
on
and
and
then
on
like
about
trap
Slipknot.
music makes sense. It's all about entertainment. It's all about like going out to a show. Like you know what I'm saying. Like everyone's like a part of it rather than like, hey, we're just taking part in somebody's
Like there's a combination of like you want it to be like intimate, but like also you want some showmanship, some like lasers if you can, some projection.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
where
You want to
set-
fucking take
the
tear it
drum
up.
set goes up on a scissor lift and spins
Yeah.
around 360
Yeah, yeah.
degrees.
like Slipknot, yeah.
Yeah.
Joey Jordison.
Yeah.
Somebody
that's
just
why it
climbs
works.
up. One of the performers just climbs up somewhere where the people who set up know they're not supposed to be, and they just keep performing.
They have
anyway.
a second and a third drummer, and one of them is playing the metal barrel.
You could be a sick musician and like have some really great music to listen to, but people are trying to listen with their eyes. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, dude, like, I
that's
remember-
what it's about, man.
Yeah, I remember the second show. Like the first time we saw Slipknot live was at Mayhem 2008.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up earlier. Best show we saw at Coors Amphitheater.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing is, like the second one that we saw was like closer to home, and
SDSU
it was
Arena at Cox.
it was the Cox Arena or the Staples Center or whatever the fuck it is, and that one Slipknot was headlining, and like the band that went on before them was Coheed and Cambria, which I think if you're going for music to listen to
That
in
sounds
space.
fun.
Yeah, you should-
sounds really
you should
fun.
probably go-
Coheed and Cambria
go
like,
for
is
Coheed
a
and
really
Cambria.
good band. They were unappreciated by the crowd. Like everybody
Yeah.
was booing them.
Yeah,
There
there
was
was
like
really
shouting out
fun.
random
Yeah,
shit.
which is like not super great, but like they did lack a certain amount of showmanship that I think people were expecting from Slipknot. So people were shouting like, I guess Slipknot.
Like
which,
everybody knows the Coheed and Cambria song from Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
played that first, so like
Welcome
the rest
home.
of the set nobody knew really.
yeah, they did blow their showstopper a little too early.
Remind me of-
Welcome Home sounds like the Tetris theme.
Yeah, we went to go see Sonic
does.
Youth at Soma.
This was our first noise set ever.
the first noise set ever. This
It
was really
during
brother.
Sonic Nurse. Too,
Yeah,
right?
so Sonic Youth
2004.
Put out, yeah, so Sonic Youth put out Sonic Nurse, and they were touring with Wolf Eyes, and
Oh,
Wolf
shit.
Eyes. So Wolf Eyes is whatever, right? So badass,
the
fucking,
Beatles of noise.
the Beatles
The
of noise.
Beatles of noise.
Yeah, it's straight up, man. And these fools got like fucking condenser mics or shit in their mouths, and they got like all kinds of stuff, and everyone's booing them, and everyone's like throwing water bottles at them.
I
and
was booing them.
yeah. It was good. It was a really good. It was a really good show. It was a really good show. It was really good, man. And they were like, everyone's just waiting for Sonic Youth, and then Wolf Ice is just taking a bunch of shit.
So the whole time they were getting booed, I remember even I was heckling them. We hadn't heard noise music before.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of won me over was when people started throwing their water bottles at them, free water bottles that they were getting from security.
God forbid they paid for them.
They started picking them up. Wolfeye started picking them up and throwing them back into the crowd. And I thought, these guys are fucking badass. So I looked them up afterwards, and I'm like, I didn't know what this genre was. I thought it was like, I used to think it was electronica. And I go, oh yeah, I want to play electronica, just like that one band, Wolfeyes.
That one band that I started out booing.
So like the first noise bands or like in that realm that I saw were The Body and Children of God. I saw Children of God twice, The Body 3 times. The first time I saw each, like I didn't get it. Like I was a hardcore kid or maybe metalcore. Like I was coming from that. So like I saw Children of God at Shake Cafe and I thought it was just like a wall of noise. I didn't get it. Same thing with The Body.
Right.
Like they were just
all kind of farty sounds.
yeah, just farty sounds, like so much noise. But then like eventually it grew on me.
Yeah.
So and like from there, I found like Jesus Lizard and Swans and Mersbo and Prurient, all that stuff.
6 shows I've seen
All the
at the
weird
Shea.
stuff that you can't show your friends.
Sickest show I've seen
Right.
at the Shea was with it was
Clip Beaks.
Clip Beaks.
Clipping?
Clip Beaks.
Clip Beaks.
No,
Okay.
not clipping. Yeah, nah, Clip Beaks.
So it was, from what I remember, it was
Fire.
Vaginals, Clip Beaks, Genghis Tron.
Yeah.
Oh, Gangstron is
They-
so
they
good.
were
Like
there,
I was
yeah.
into them in my metalcore
Yeah.
phase too.
Yeah, like fucking Love Pump United style shit. And then actually, there's 2.
Vaginals has been around for a while, right?
They've
Yeah.
been around since like early 2000s.
Yeah.
probably?
No. Maria told me she's been doing it for since '95.
Wow.
But the thing is that it got in
Fuck.
2000s. It was when it was
Has
starting.
Dylan been on for that the whole time?
No, well, Dylan's
No,
not
I
in
think-
it anymore.
I
like-
think he was around like 2006, 2007 is when he joined.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But Maria has been like the main person running
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So she's always Vaginals is Maria,
Yeah,
basically.
I felt bad that show that I played in February at Helmuth Projects, R.I.P. Helmuth.
Oh, they'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah, like I played the first set as Cheap Windows, my piano set with like 6 Simpsons episodes on my like, sheet
remember, yeah.
music stand. Ariel was there for that. But like you invited me to a show at Radio Axiom, so we left before Vaginals played.
Yeah, bummer. But I mean, they've been doing it for quite a while. Maria's been doing. Really
I'll see
good at it.
Vaginals at some point.
No, right now it's getting pretty good. Like Dylan's not doing it anymore. He kind of left because of his will. But Maria's been doing this thing on her own now.
Yeah.
And it's been going pretty well. Like I've gotten to listen in. We don't share the same practice space, but we share the same complex. He's always there, and I'm always kind of like listening in. I played a show with her at Bancroft with a couple of folks, Love Attracts from France, and that show by herself was like really good, man. I was like pretty blown. She's been hitting me up to try to do to do drums or do a collab or something with the Solve stuff. And I mean, I've been doing the Solve stuff on my own, but she's really coming up with something that we've been talking about, trying to do a split or
that would be
something for sometime later this year. And yeah, man, big ups. Yeah, big ups from to Bromiga.
Yeah, Maria's pretty cool. Like we're still friendly with each other, even though like I dipped too early on the show she put me on. Like when I played Content Partners with Curse and you, like Maria and I were still talking. She seems into like the podcast ideas that Jack and I have.
Yeah, I think like man, you could totally have her in this podcast.
She should be a guest, Maria. If you're listening,
has a lot- yeah.
you could come on our podcast.
She'll have a lot of shit to say. She's really cool. She really spoken about what's up and what's it do. But yeah,
All the San Diego scene drama
yeah.
too.
She's all she's been in it, man. She's been in it. She's a cool cat though. She's been fighting it, and yeah, fucking shout out Maria.
Now that 3 people are back in the room, I'm gonna take my bathroom break.
So I got to ask a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
When I walked past the bathroom, I saw an amplifier head with a Toyota.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
So I guess I gotta stay here in here like a few minutes more. That is a Bugera 1990.
Okay, all right. I thought it was
I took
actual
a-
Toyota because you
Yeah,
have
I've tricked people before.
you have a Hyundai monitor. So I thought, does this guy just buy like car make equipment that doesn't make cars?
I bought the Toyota badge on eBay for like $7, so I took the Bugera off and put a Toyota on to trick people.
That's good.
It like makes a Bugera amp so much better. Like if you can have that discussion with people. I also have a QSC Cinema power amplifier.
Nice.
Fuck that cheap Windows, man. That cheap Windows. What's up with the? Hey, tell us about your tape that you just.
Oh yeah,
about to drop.
when these fools pulled up, like I gave them both like my upcoming cheap Windows tape. Like I've already announced it on
When
the
these fools
podcast
pulled
we
up.
did before. Like Cheap Windows is my music project, like kind of ambient. Like the next album, I'm doing more of a piano rock thing, like a dark thing, like combining stuff like Nick Cage, Coldplay, The Fray, but like also the ambient stuff of Ryuichi Sakamoto. So like this is an album I'm really behind, and I really want it to get out there. I'm going to put it up for free download. Like tapes are only $5. I'll give tapes to friends, like if you know me.
Yeah. Sick. So you better hit them up.
Yeah, the tapes are already made. There's 2 music videos for the singles on it. Annexation of Lost was put out yesterday.
Fire. That fucking video was sick.
That was a good video.
Yeah, that was such a good video.
It was just filmed on a point and shoot. Like I was
it was
walking
so
around my
good.
neighborhood, like coming up
So
with
real.
all the jokes I could.
It's very cheap windows.
Cheap Windows is where I get my jokes in. Like every band I've done, like I put jokes into because I wouldn't be a good comedian as a whole, you know.
You're fucking king of like title phrases. Yeah, right here.
Punk is dead, math cores forever. Asking Donald Trump about the Kyoto Protocol.
Yeah.
I would trust Amazon with my life. Joan of Arco AMPM, which is about my grandma, R.I.P.
That's rad.
Fire.
Like everything has like sort of a meaning behind it, and like on Instagram I decided to write about like my song titles and where they come from, and people seem to like it. And then I compiled all the 6 song titles into a blog post.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, because people like to know, like, you know, besides what you
They
put
like
out,
to know like the
who you are.
VH1 behind the scenes, you know.
Yeah. That's what I think. That's how people get really like interested. And the thing is, you
Like
know, people are still trying
that's
figure
something
that
to
out.
set you apart, because like music is getting oversaturated. Like there's so much music put out there. Like you could record an album in your basement and get it on iTunes and Spotify. Like it's super easy now.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta, you know, I guess what people are starting to look for is like, who am I supporting? Like,
who's authentic? Like, not saying
who's
that I
real.
am, but like like you gotta look out for that.
Yeah.
And like who's saying something else, like other than the music. Like I want more of a story to it, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really getting listened to or getting following. You know, people are being more real.
And
hey
like,
man, I'm just like a fucking jackass that likes to drink and have a good time. And I might, you know, I might run over a thing here or two, but it's all right. You know, you know. That's the way.
good.
Yeah,
like
that's what you
I
gotta do.
think almost like it's getting better.
There she goes, baby.
It's getting better to like be weird, because like all the generic styles have been done to death. So like you got to have something that's like kind of odd or mysterious about you.
And that's every medium. That's everything.
It is-
movies, music, books, everything.
It is no longer hip to be square.
Yeah. No.
Oh no.
No.
You got to be weird.
You gotta be weird. You gotta be an odd shape, man.
It's hip to be a rhombus.
When is Katy Perry going to have a harsh noise album? You know.
Yeah.
Nobody knows more about being an outcast in modern day society than Katy Perry does.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a firework.
Yeah. She's a bag
She
flying in
kissed
the
a
air.
girl and she liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that's by God, if singing about that is not the bravest thing in the fucking world for an otherwise
Man.
otherwise
She's
seemingly
so
straight white
bra-
girl to do.
She's so brave.
So brave. I heard her roar. It was incredible. But dude, speaking of fireworks, the most recent strange job that I had was I got to work on a firework barge a couple nights ago, like I think it was 3 days ago.
A firework bar.
Barge, yeah. I just went down to like the fucking tug and barge dock down in Barrio Logan.
Oh yeah.
And then I had to go down there at like 3:00 in the afternoon, and then like, you know, after the yellow line, you have to be wearing like a life jacket and a hard hat, because there's cranes everywhere and shit, and you're on the dock, so there's open water on either side. And we go up on the barge. It's this big fucking metal barge sitting out in the sun in 80-degree heat plus humidity. So I'm wearing this life jacket, and I'm standing on what is basically just a giant metal griddle in indirect sunlight, and like, the truck comes up, we have to load all of our shit off the truck, put it up on the barge, and the tide's rising, so we have to lift this shit up over our heads to get it on the barge. And then like, we get all the racks set up with like the big, you know, 6-inch black PVC tubes that you like drop the fireworks into, and then we like open up like 10 boxes full of fireworks.
Yeah.
And they're all like these like 8-pound like balls of brown paper with like a cone at the bottom that's full of gunpowder, and like they got the fuse and the wire on top. So you got to drop like a couple hundred of these into all these tubes, and you got to like nail all the racks together so they don't blow apart.
Yeah.
You know, in all the explosions. And we're dropping all the fireworks in. We're like screwing these electrical modules in, and then we're plugging all the wires into all the respective modules. Like they're all paired up with hexadecimals and shit.
You want some?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they're all paired up with hexadecimals and shit. And then
Water fell out.
and then we have to wait for the
Yeah.
and then we have to wait for the fire marshal to show up and clear us. And then like he stays on, and a tugboat comes out and takes us out because it's just a barge. It's just a floating
Hell
thing.
yeah, brother.
It doesn't have an engine or anything. So the tugboat pulls us out to the midway, to the midway downtown. And like we're between the midway and another historic like battleship or something that's on the other side of the bay. And so like we just wait for the signal, and like it was a private event or something. Like people rent out the midway, like and they have like a band and catering on the tarmac and shit. And so like we wait for the signal, we wait for the band to play their last song, and then right as it's ending, all right, go. And like we're standing behind like a plywood blast shield while all these fucking fireworks are going off. Like I got my earphones on so that I can still hear after it's over. But like if you've never been like point blank where the fireworks are going off, it's a different way to see a fireworks show, because like you're getting hit with like the shockwave of each of these things being launched.
It's like shock and awe.
Yeah, and then when
Shocking off.
they go off a lot lower than you think. Like when they go off, you still get the shockwave when they explode.
Yeah.
And like when they explode and there's this huge thing of colored sparks, and then they all rain down and slowly fizzle out.
And burn your hair.
They fizzle out about 5 to 10 feet above your head.
Yeah.
If you're like actually right under where it's happening.
Admittedly, like I was pretty nervous about Jack doing this. Thankfully, he was only doing it for one day.
Yep.
One guy that we were in middle school with, Willie, he was doing fireworks on a lake in Northern California, and he died in like a mishap with that.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Yeah. But like, yeah. And the thing that spooked me, like I had to look around to people who had done it more times to see if I should actually be worried about it. And apparently it was no big deal. But like sometimes fireworks will launch up and not ignite properly. Yeah. So like they'll launch about 20 to 30 feet in the air, and then it'll just be this like burning husk of like this huge burning ball that comes plummeting back to the earth and like hits the barge. And I'm thinking like, oh, that's a huge undetonated firework that's all kinds of on fire. Is it gonna explode?
Great
right
balls
here on the deck?
of fire.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. And like everybody else is like, it's fine. And like the shit comes back down, and like the racks are made out of wood, so they start getting set on fire. And we're like, well, shit.
It's like reminding me of this time I was in New York. I bought fireworks in Wyoming. I bought a bunch.
We would always get fireworks in Las Vegas, and we also brought some from Tijuana.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I went
Tijuana's
past.
where you get the good shit.
Yep.
Yeah, when I went to Vegas, I didn't really find I couldn't really find a fireworks spot. I wasn't looking good. So
There's one that looks like a grocery store, but it's all fireworks.
Oh, yeah,
I went to a barn,
like the
one.
fucking big black cat store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went to a black hat store in Wyoming.
Yeah.
And it was
like there's
it's a fucking barn.
There's
It's a barn.
Some of them are like roadside shacks, and some of them, like the one that we went to, I think it's like the main black cat store in Nevada, and it looks like a supermarket. Like
it does.
It's got like all it's got like
right
all
at
the lighting,
border in the north side,
and it's got like Muzak playing. Oh, Ian, guitar music for fireworks shopping.
Yeah.
We already did a Muzak album, remember, in January?
Yeah, I know, but they make either guitar music or piano music for fireworks shopping.
I'll do it. California has some like odd fireworks laws, so like technically fireworks are illegal, but some cities allow them to be sold on 4th of July or around it.
Yeah.
And like I've seen fireworks
So
stands in
everybody can
Fresno.
just lose their hands in like one weekend.
Yeah.
I have family out in San Bernardino, Fontana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And,
we've been through there a lot because we go to Big Bear all the time.
4th of July, you can drive around there around that time, and you'll find just fireworks stands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's
Just
like certain
around that
types
time.
of fireworks that they're allowed to sell.
Yeah.
Like there's limits on like what they could actually sell, which
Yeah.
they'd probably break anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. TJ, though, that's the best place to get fireworks.
Yeah. Wyoming is sick if you're on the road.
Yeah.
I got some really cool like fucking Roman candles.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of shooting them when I went to Boston. I was staying with some people, and we got to shoot some at buildings. And then no, but it was cool in New York. In New York, I stayed in Bushwick, in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And it was a building that had the little rooftop access. We're just there drinking some beers. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I got a couple of Roman candles with my buddy Devin that we're like hanging out with, and he was like, all right, cool, well, let's shoot it down. This building, the way it was built, it had windows, but it was all staring at nothing. There's this like I want to say the way the building was built, there was like an open section in the middle. Mm-hmm. It was weird.
So it was like
windows, but you could see other people's windows. It was fucking weird.
Yeah. So like it was like, wait a minute, it was like four walls all around and then like an open space in the middle.
Yeah.
So you could see, like from the inside, you could see across to another apartment.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, yeah, I got you.
It's
like a tube but square.
Yeah. On top, so we're on top. We've been drinking, and so I had two left that I had brought, and I decided to bring them out. And he shot one down there, and it was funny. There's all kinds of sparks and stuff going into people's windows and shit. And I don't know if we could hear anybody complaining, but we did that one. And then the second one was that he wanted to shoot across the building into a different apartment complex, into windows. And that was it was wild, man. It was wild because you could see
New York.
Yeah, you see people like trying to close their windows and shoot, with their blinds and like bitching. But it was funny because
they're just like, guys.
The thing is, it wasn't like something that I knew he was gonna do. Like I kind of like, hey, here, take this one, shoot it up in the sky, have fun. He's like, all right, and he started shooting across the fucking building, and that's when we're just kind of catching.
Oh, it's time to go.
It's time to
vamoose.
Yeah.
But like the crazy thing is like, I finally got to learn what like professional grade fireworks look like. And they don't look like what you find at a Black Cat store, like all the bottle rockets, like the colorful packaging and shit. They're just like these brown paper pumpkins that you drop into a tube, and like you have to wire them up and everything, so that they're all timed out correctly to the program and shit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, they don't look fun, but then they go off and like, oh shit!
I wish I had some Roman candles. I mean, for some of the shows I've done, I brought out sparklers.
That's sick. I like to like passing around sparklers at the shows.
Have you guys ever had a Roman candle fight?
Kinda, yeah.
And Jax had his eyebrow burned off by a firework.
Yeah, it was 4th of July, 2009, and our father was very drunk. And we launched off a bunch of fireworks.
Jack.
Okay.
Hey, Jack, come look at this.
No, we were launching off fireworks that we had brought from Nevada the previous year in the middle of the street. Which
stopping traffic.
We were stopping. We weren't stopping much traffic, so I think it was okay. Wow. And it's 4th of July; they should just enjoy the show. But like, my dad and his equally drunk friend were racing bottle rockets down the street. Like they would lay bottle rockets down, and then each take a Bic lighter and like light it off. And they're kneeling right behind this thing, so sparks come and just fry their legs.
Yeah.
And like my dad had burns all over his body and like on the tops of his feet from when he was when he was racing. They would just burn the tops of his feet.
Burn the chest hair and shit.
Yeah, and like he had patches in his thick rug of chest hair, but so he got plenty burned that night, and one of the things that we did was somebody had the bright idea. I don't know who it was. If it was me, then nobody should have listened to me, but apparently they did. Was to take a 6-pack of bottle rockets and stuff them all like without taking off the cellophane wrapping that packages the 6 of them together. Just stuff all of them into one bottle, like all the sticks into one bottle, and then light as many as you could and run. And we managed to light about 3 or 4. And then the thing comes up out. It makes it about 2 feet off the ground, hovers there for a second, and then falls down onto the pavement, and the cellophane cracks. So there are all these lit firecrackers sitting sprayed out in
ready to go
in every which direction on the ground. We're all like, shit! And we run and take cover. I think I got hit with one. Like, it hit me right there on the side, and then it dropped to the ground right as it blew up. And I was like, oh, shit, that was lucky. I think Dad got hit with one as it blew up.
How'd you get the eyebrow?
That was our showstopper, actually. It was this big, fucking 10-pound ugly bastard that looked like a mini trash can that somebody had wrapped in, like, colorful, like, Black Cat decorations and shit. And, like, so and it has just a wick coming out of the top. It's not meant to be launched. It's meant to be set on the ground and experienced. And like we set it down in the middle of the street. People are honking at us. We don't care. And we light the fuse and we run. And we run all the way to the lawn, which is about 10 to 15 feet away, which is not enough. The packaging says it's enough. It's not.
It's not.
And then what proceeds to happen is basically a miniaturized version of a professional fireworks show launching out of this little like drum, and it's like the full Big Bay Boom 4th of July fireworks show, but it's just like miniature and it's not going farther than 10 feet off the ground.
And then the Benny Hill theme song like playing,
and then it starts spreading out, and one of those little mini firework sparks comes flying right at my face, and just. I get burned. This entire eyebrow disappears. Yeah, my entire you fucking yakety sax.
Oh, you know it,
Dude, I learned how to play the William Tell Overture on guitar when I was younger.
Yeah, but but my entire left eyebrow was gone, and then about a week later, it started to grow back. But I noticed a sizable 25% chunk of my eyebrow right in the middle was missing. Yeah, and apparently that's like a thing in prisons where you shave it like a chunk out of your eyebrow to signify something. And so people were asking me if I'd been to juvie.
Oh,
so you
fuck.
did this
Dude,
research.
I've seen that.
What does it signify?
I don't know. I've worked with dudes who have like
bangs.
part of their eyebrow shaved off.
Yeah, I didn't have a say in the matter. It was just gone,
You've been
and people thought it was intentional.
I
Hey,
don't know what
boy,
it
you been
means.
a
I
dude.
always wanted to know what the fuck that means because
Like
they all
there
said
was
the same
there was
shit.
like the Chola thing too, where they would shave off their eyebrows
well,
and like
they
tattoo
used
one
to
on.
they used to just
or Sharpie it, you know.
well,
Yeah,
they-
Sharpie if you can't afford a tattoo.
Well, there was a
Stick and poke.
time.
I've done a stick and poke before.
There was a time when dudes would like just take off one line down out of their,
That's what I got mistaken for.
yeah.
It
What the fuck does that
it-
mean?
I don't know.
Prison.
I've been to
It
prison.
means prison.
It means prison.
To be fair, I have done a stick and poke tattoo on a dude before, so I guess I have.
Hey, we should just stick and poke some fucking tattoos right now.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it, man. Fuck
Let's
it.
crack open a Sharpie, get some pens,
Ballpoint
get
pen.
some pins,
Yeah.
get some isopropyl. We have
Get,
isopropyl alcohol.
get some oh well you bastard like abbreviated.
Oh, well, you
yeah,
bastards,
just
right across the
all
forearm.
across my chest.
big fucking letters. Make sure everyone can see it.
Ariel, another question I never asked you. Worst part of the tour for you?
Shit. Not showering.
Oh, yeah, that's
Well,
about
that
it.
was by choice, though, man.
Oh,
we
yeah.
had lots of opportunities to shower.
You were just
I-
like,
I didn't get to shower.
Yeah,
for
like
7
I've had a
days.
weekender run where I didn't shower enough, and that caused like a whole separate problem. Like my foot eventually ended up swelling up.
Okay, so you're probably getting cancer, but the worst part for me was that I fucked up my voice
Oh yeah.
the
He
first
had
night into the tour.
Oh, yeah,
that's rough.
Coaxial.
I lost my
At
voice.
Coaxial, he did
Coaxial.
such a good performance. Like it was fucking lit. It was
That's
good.
everything on the stage, including your vocal
But
cords.
yeah,
Everything.
exactly.
Your amp broke down on tour too, right?
My amp broke down in Portland.
All right. So the question should be, what was Esteban's worst time in the tour? And
Well, besides the whole tour,
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
it's between losing my voice in the first fucking night in Los Angeles, or my amp taking a shit in Portland. So at some point I felt like I lost everything. In Portland, I felt like I lost everything. I had no amplifier. My guitar amplifier, like the star of my tour, was the fucking Self-Tech amplifier that I bought. It was like made in the fucking 80s. Like I wanted to show this thing off.
Yeah.
Um,
Big shit. It took a big shit.
it took a big shit. It stopped working, and like right before I set up, it just stopped working. And I had already lost my voice, so I had a really hard time like communicating with people. So I would stay quiet most of the tour,
Yeah.
which was awful.
So
because
accidental instrumental set, sort of.
Accidental instrumental.
I did a accidental instrumental set the whole fucking tour up until Seattle. Seattle was
I mean,
the
I
high point
had,
for
I had
me.
my gear kind of like I had this 20-inch
Yeah,
floor tom.
the fucking last night.
Nah.
Crapped
Okay,
out.
okay. The last night I played, they had we're running all the electronics through like this one outlet, and they were having problems with their electricity. So like,
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I was running on fumes the whole fucking tour.
No. But my drum, my 20-inch floor tom, one of the legs broke off. and I kept taping over every night.
I remember that.
And I kept
just this one night.
So we would film little clips of me every night putting like duct tape over this fucking like leg, going just for tonight, just for one night, just for one night, every fucking night. And
one more night, I promise.
One more night.
One more night.
One more
I swear to God, just one more night.
I was unable to speak to people for the whole tour.
Yeah. In my old screamo band, all my wishes, like the vocals would break the drummer's like equipment so much. Like, and he had 2 or 3 drum kits. He would use like the cheapo crap stuff with us, because like he knew it was like liable to break.
So after every fucking set, hey, if you want to come out to buy some shirts,
I had no voice, dude. I lost all my confidence on that tour, man.
I know.
Whenever I would speak, I'd be like, if you want to just come out and talk to me. And
your voice is hoarse.
My
and
voice was
when
just
people
hoarse.
Come to the merch booth, like they can't hear you.
They can't hear me.
They're
So
like, you want to buy a shirt?
I would always have to speak like 3 or 4 times before they would understand me. The whole fucking tour, I just spent.
Best
I just
show
spent the
was in
quiet.
LA. Best show was the last night.
For me, the best show was Seattle, because Seattle is when I got my
his
voice back, and I did vocals again for that show. And I was able to talk. Okay, so the weirdest part for me was when I had money in my bank account, but I didn't have any cash on me, and I feel really bad for this guy because he basically gave me his money, but he came up to me and he goes, "Yeah, I'll buy a shirt and a CD," and I go, "Great," and he gave me like $40 or something like that. And I'm like, I'll check for change, and I didn't have any change on me. And I'm like looking for change like desperately, and I pulled out this 5 that was all like balled up, and I'm like trying to like unfold it for him and give it back to him, and he feels sorry for me, and he goes, "Oh, it's okay. Just keep keep it."
I've overpaid for merch and like had other people like do it for me when All My Wishes would tour. Like it was hard keeping enough change around.
Right, it was hard. I completely forgot. Seattle was my favorite city.
Like, did you guys have a square reader for the merch table?
A what?
No,
Square reader?
No.
So you could take credit cards and debit cards?
No, nothing.
I think
nothing.
that show was pretty wild for me. Like we had eaten at the Tweeds Cafe, which was like the R&R of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So we went there to eat some, to have a meal.
That was after the tour, though.
No.
The tour was over.
No. This is the night.
Was it the night of
the
the tour?
day? It was the day before we hit the Seattle.
Oh shit! I completely forgot.
Okay,
You're right.
If I remember, I was supposed to play second, but I had the runs because of the country gravy and grits that I had.
So Ariel disappeared by the time it was supposed to go on.
And the 3 mugs of coffee I had there, it hit me when I finally got there, and I was supposed to go on like second or something.
Yeah, so when it was Ariel's turn, people were looking for him, and they go, "Oh, well, we'll have the touring bands go on if we can find them."
Yeah.
And it was really embarrassing because I'm like, I'm a touring band. I just can't find my tour member.
I was looking for a fucking toilet.
Ariel was found with a cup of, what were you drinking?
Okay, so there was like a Dunkin' Donuts or like a Krispy Kreme or some shit like down the street, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna power walk myself there.
Did
I made it.
Our friend in Seattle find you? I'm not gonna name names.
No. He
I
found
wanna
me
be as vague as I
He
can.
found
Our
me.
friend in Seattle
he found
found
me
you?
at the point where like I was getting I got to the block.
Okay, all right.
And he was like, "Hey, we're looking for you," and that's when I had to improvise the fact that I had to pull out a pedal in my car. So the thing is that there was this power shortage that was going on, so I couldn't play part of my equipment, and so I ended up having to take like about almost 10 minutes trying to set up, like, as a noise artist that that knows how to improvise. Well, okay, if some shit ain't gonna work, you ain't gonna stop, you're gonna go ahead and pile it up. Okay, this equipment, all right, I'm gonna exit it.
Whoa.
I am going to exit it, and then I'm gonna figure out my shit, right? And so I pull out a different pedal, I do a completely different set, and it worked out. the thing that was fucking. This is what kind of shows musicianship, or when it comes down to it,
when you're able to come up with a set when you lost most.
When
of
you
your-
do
I lost-
something on the
I lost
spot
an
that
arm.
replaces
Right.
what you were
so I ended
playing
up
on.
losing an
You're playing,
arm.
yeah.
I ended up losing.
you lose a fucking arm.
I
dog.
lost an arm.
Hey, I lost everything.
You
lost
an arm
everything
and
throughout the tour. I got mine at the end, where I lost the fucking arm. He lost it all.
I
throughout
lost all my limbs
Yeah.
on the first night
Yeah.
of the tour.
And the thing is,
Johnny got his gun and shit.
yeah.
Sadly.
So I ended up pulling up, a set, just whatever, improv. The guy that went after me had the same problem. He brought his gear. He realized some of it wasn't working because of the same fucking plug-in, same problem. He decided not to play.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what?
That
Dude.
made me.
I've had
He
this
decided not to-
problem, and
and
we
he
went
was being
through
an
it
asshole.
for 10 minutes.
that
He was being an asshole.
that showed me how professional you and I were when we saw the guy who headlined the Seattle show. I'm not going to name names, but I'm pretty sure whoever listens to this in Seattle knows who I'm talking about.
yeah.
This
No
person
balls.
this person was just like, "Oh, this is why I can't play with any other gear
it
besides
has
my
to be
own.
perfect,
You know, it has to be my gear or else
Mm.
it just won't work." This person ended up not playing their set because they just couldn't.
So it
get
ended,
sound
it
out of
ended
their
like
system.
that.
Yeah.
fucking
It
like
ended.
that.
It ended with us finishing the show.
Yeah. This guy was supposed to be like the main fucking he was the headliner. And he was from town. He was the local. And he was just straight up like he was complaining to the people that put on the show,
Yeah,
that provided the fucking PA.
This is why I don't play with my own sound system or something. Like that.
So you know what? It comes to show like musicianship. Like even not that, just the type of person you are is that no matter what the situation is, you make it fucking work.
Right. Yeah, like
Make
you
it
gotta
work,
have some
right?
integrity behind it.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, man. Like
Like even if your stuff is high concept, like you should still be able to play a show that you've like.
You should be able to bite the fucking bullet
Well,
and adapt.
bite the
Yes,
bullet.
sir.
Bite the
Yes,
bullet.
sir.
Fucking do something that you don't feel like doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you come up with a set that's new.
Exactly,
It's something.
exactly.
It's something unique to that moment.
Yeah,
And what's wrong
exactly.
with that?
And then
Everything
people
that
will like appreciate that. It's like, oh, I'm getting a unique experience. here.
Exactly.
Like, this guy. is
You'll
just
never have that
improvising and
again.
doing
You'll
whatever.
You'll never
this
have
exact
that
set
again.
will never happen again.
it will never happen like
it
that.
comes down to being like confident in the fact that like if shit hits the fan, I could still figure my way. It's like being a MacGyver.
A show like
MacGyver
that.
the shit
Exactly.
out of it.
That
Precisely.
show, the one
Any
in Seattle,
situation.
because you were having trouble too. I barely got my voice back that night. That show made me realize that you and I are like able to adapt
Yeah,
to
yeah.
any fucking situation that comes to us. Because the whole tour I was doing that. The whole tour I was
And it
trying
all
to
comes
adapt.
to that, like being able to improvise. Like I think learning to improvise in anything that you do, to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Is what
Precisely.
makes
Absolutely.
a person.
In my case, like the
Everything.
improvisation is like come from like a knowledge of music theory. Like I took piano lessons as a kid. Like I did a lot of teaching myself and like learning how like the keys and scales and like all the accidentals work.
Yeah.
So like with cheap windows, like a lot of the recording is improvisational. I'm just like starting with a solo and then I'll record rhythm guitar to it and then piano to it.
And it goes with everything, man. It's
Yeah.
not just art. It's just with music. It could be with like even like say like acting or like stand up.
Like you improvise a line when you're acting.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
It really just comes to show like if you're good, if you can improvise, if you're good at improvising, you're always gonna pull it off.
Right.
Like if you're just like the kind of person that just has written out material and you just rely on that.
Yeah.
And then you act on the fact that you're fucked when it ain't gonna happen. Well, then that shows the type of person that
like-
you are. That you're just written out.
And like that unwillingness to like adapt to a situation, that unwillingness to improvise. Like I've actually done like improvised comedy and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah,
and like,
no, that's what
and,
I'm
like,
getting at, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Yeah, and like that
Different mediums.
and like that you can adapt that skill set that you develop there. You can adapt to pretty much any kind of other performing art. Like
Yeah, like companies are going
Yeah.
to Second City Improv to like take lessons. right?
exactly, yeah, because aside from just you as an individual being
Yeah.
being able to adapt to a situation, it's all about being able to like say yes to what other people are doing, being able to support each other,
Yeah.
and shit like that. So like, it
Teamwork.
it makes you
Yeah.
it makes you a better performer and worker as an individual, and like it makes you better able to like work with other people because like you're not always shooting people down and saying which of their ideas are shit. You're just saying like, all right, what can we do based off of that? What can how can we take that idea to a further extent and further and further and further? That's how it's supposed to
It
work.
may not be the best, but like it's a point to continue on, you know.
And I feel
rather than like somebody coming up with an idea and you just saying no, that's fucking stupid. You say like, all right, that's something. Where do we go from there?
Yeah, it's easy to dismiss. It's
submitting.
Submitting.
It's the easiest fucking thing in the world to say no, that's stupid.
Yeah.
It's harder to say like, all right, that's something. Where do we go off of that?
Yeah. Right.
And like it's all about support. Like to the point where my team and I I haven't performed in a while because I've been out of town for a couple months, but like. We started making it a tradition, like right before we go out on stage to perform, we would all just like huddle and start patting each other on the back and saying like, I got your back, I got your back, I got your back, I got your back.
We're crossing.
Because the scariest fucking thing in the world is going out onto a stage alone and having nothing.
Yeah.
And like you can make some shit up to keep people going for like maybe a couple minutes if you're lucky, but you need somebody to like be there to like support you and build off of what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just out there alone and you're fucked.
Exactly. And you know what? That's what it's about, man. It's keeping it going.
Rolling with the punches. Supporting each other as you go.
If you can't roll, then you can't hang. Yeah, that's
like we need those last vestiges of community we have because like the internet has kind of separated people in some ways. Like it connected us all, but then
for a while,
like everybody is like chasing their own self goals and like you kind of end up being more selfish because of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everyone's trying to actualize, but like it's I feel
we're trying to actualize over each other, which is not. It's not the way to go.
Because like we're taking the characteristics of oversaturating, the whole oversaturating like content that's going on.
Like
we're starting
to
to act
louder
on it.
than the next person.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like you're not
exactly.
becoming
Yes.
friends with them. Like you're creating these divisive lives that don't need to exist.
Bunch of terrible improvisers out there on the internet.
Yeah. Well, we gotta. There's a way. There's a way to fight that. There has to be a way to fight that. To filter off the fact that there's so much oversaturation of shows, oversaturation of events, of things going on.
Like the simplest
there has
way
to
to
be
go
something
about
more
that
genuine.
is just to be kind. Like show people random acts
yeah,
of like
course.
being good and like
to be supportive of others.
Like the golden rule, all that.
But I feel like let me get kind of like dark here, but we're like we're oversaturating our own friends. Like we're all we're at the same time. At the same time, we're kind of like they throw on so many shows. You can only support so much.
Everybody has to be concerned about their time with like if you're working 1 or 2 jobs, if you're going to school. All
the
that.
thing that I think social media has fucked us up the most in is that we have to sort of appear to be available all the fucking time.
Oh god, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to be available. That's what they expect. That's what
all
they
the fucking.
Otherwise,
people
you'll never be
expect a
invited to anything.
response from their messages.
Or you'll be
immediately,
like a fart.
Even with your
Right.
job, like they expect you to respond to emails when you're off time.
If you have a Facebook page,
I think there's something on the ballot in California to make that illegal for employers to do that.
I would support that. Yeah.
If you have a Facebook page, it rates you how long it takes you to answer somebody with a question.
No,
Yeah, dude, I know so much about the data
social
suck
media,
behind Facebook.
like, social
I'm
media-
so close to like leaving all social media.
It's so fucked up.
See,
being like a
the
total
way
hermit.
the way social media works is that like it relies on there's credits. There's this currency where like if you like stuff and you repost stuff, you get credits to yourself. Where like if you were to do posts and you were to do stuff, you appear more on other people's feeds. It's all this kind of like subtle currency that people don't really pick up on until they realize, hey man, the more I post up, the more I do shit, the more I get attention.
Yeah, the harsh truth of being like a musician is you really have to be on top of your own social media. Like you have to be like looking at the trends, looking at the times to post. Like it sucks, but like that's how you get people's attention and get people to hear your music.
Yeah.
If you can make memes, like people will hear it somehow.
I feel like it's about to hit like some kind of blog in a sense. We gotta start like looking at a different way to deliver.
Like I was looking at like alternatives to social media. Like mailing lists for like when I have albums out or shows.
Mailing,
Yes,
I think mailing list is the next thing.
like a literal mailing list.
Like,
send
hey,
a
you're
fucking-
interested?
Send a
Old
fucking letter
fashioned
out.
snail mail.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not even people's email accounts. Just like,
No,
old,
but
like to their box.
But
to their
but
mailbox.
to our point now, like a snail mail, kind of thing, like a register.
A tape
But-
trading
I have
list.
one-
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have-
but
let's
like
just go old school Netflix.
no
with it.
emails, no emails. Let's.
I have
it's
one
gonna be
friend
Go back
who
to
text.
passing
sends-
out your CDs in public and
Yes.
downtown.
Dude,
Yeah.
wait
Why
a
do-
minute.
Stand outside of
Guys,
Walmart.
I'm formulating an idea. Just let me know if it's stupid or not, because I'm just spitballing here. But like, what if we do like sort of a pay it forward Netflix situation where like one person signs up for it, and then they get a CD in the mail.
Yeah.
They listen to it, and then they like connect with that artist like through the internet or whatever, and then like along with the CD that was mailed to them, they get an address for like the next subscriber, and they pass it along to them, and along to them, and along to the next person, and then you just have like one
Well,
super
so we'll just
super
have like email chains again.
super like,
Email
it's-
chains.
It's like fucking Sisterhood of the Traveling CD.
I
It's
have
like everybody across the country is listening to this.
No,
one
so
CD.
everybody's looking for it. No, this thing. Like we're talking about it. We're disclosing all kinds of ideas.
steal our ideas.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of
Make
God,
No,
them.
it's
somebody
funny.
just do
It's
this.
funny.
Please steal them and fucking put them in action.
Yeah.
Like we just
Right
want
now.
to see them out there. We don't care
I'm
if
not-
we get the rules.
I came up with this idea. I'm not gonna do it. Somebody else steal it, please, for the love of God.
No. But I bet we'll throw out a couple. But I bet we haven't figured the one out.
There's
There
two
is-
things that
there
I
is
have
an-
in mind. Like, there's a couple of vinyl subscription services out there where they'll like turn you on to new artists. Like you pay, say, $30 a month, and then you'll get like a record or two each month. That would be an artist you wouldn't have heard otherwise. There's also one called Feed Bands that I'm on. Like, I'm glad I discovered it. Like, you upload your music, and like people vote on it. And if enough people like it, they press your music to vinyl, no record label.
The idea
and, like,
that-
this service, they'll house bands in their house in North Carolina and feed them farm food. Like, that's why it's called Feed Bands.
Cool.
I dig that.
Everything about that sounds cool.
Yeah.
You gave me this. You had this idea that you brought up to me a while back, or just I don't know. I just remember it. It was people subscribe to you, coming up with stuff. Like you could be somebody coming up with content. Or
Oh,
something.
Patreon. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
it was.
And people
Yeah.
subscribe monthly and they pay you.
Yeah,
and
like-
then you keep coming up with material. I think it'd be really cool for the idea I had was to be an artist that comes up with certain styles, and you always keep on coming up with songs or keep coming up with content, even content that hasn't doesn't really have to do with music. It could be some skits. You could do some bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
You'd be-
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I used to I was experimenting with a thing on Instagram with the stories when they were first coming out, where they were, I would do little things, I would do this, I'll do little skits.
Human servant.
Human servant.
Human servant. Was my
I had
favorite
this one skit called Human Servant, where I had I have two cats, and I'm the human servant, and so my cats,
The cats control you.
the cats control me, and I come home, my liquor's gone. And I'm trying to figure out who's been drinking out of Daddy's
and
liquor
who's
cabinet.
torn up the couch.
And who's torn up the couch. And then shots are being taken at the cats, and the cats just look at you and they kind of don't give a fuck. And
They're cats.
They're cats.
They're cats. They're
Yeah.
superior. They act like it.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was the selling point.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like if you could do music and do or if you could be a person that just tends to come out with content all the time. Any kind of content.
Yeah, like
Music content.
multimedia content. If you're a musician, you have video out there, you have a
so
podcast you're attached
so they're
to,
investing
like,
into
fucking
a
myself.
person that comes out. They're investing into a person that comes up with so much content that they do music, they do little skits, they'll have some
Like,
stuff.
there's no way
They're-
that you can't appreciate it. you
yeah,
know?
yeah. This guy's doing his thing, and he has a passion for this, that. Well,
Yeah,
I support
what
that.
I found is
I dug that idea, the Patreon.
yeah, Patreon, it's the best crowdfunding that I've seen. I tried it and I didn't do so well at it. I had a few family subscribers.
You have so much material. I think that it would work for you.
Yeah, I think I just need to learn to make a profile better. Jack has a Patreon too.
I think you guys content. You come up with. I don't know.
Like people pay like $5 a month, and then they get like something
when
original
you shot that,
like they
remember,
won't get publicly.
Remember when I bought that thing from
The knit
Jim,
hood that I
the
took
knit
a
hood
photo
from Jim, and then you send me the content of him wearing it. That shit was so funny.
Yeah.
I fucking couldn't.
I wish I had saved that photo. I took it on.
He
Instagram.
sent it to me. He sent it to me, and I like in the way where like you can't save it, and it was so funny.
I saw that thing. I was like immediately like, okay, this is something a medieval serf would wear.
Yeah, exactly.
Ian, let me wear this. I'm gonna go grab some farm equipment.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, it was
so
taken
good.
up at
If it
our
please-
parents' cabin in Big Bear.
Shout out,
if
shout
it
out,
please, my
Brittany
lord.
Graves.
Yeah. If it please, my lord.
Yeah, shout out Brittany Graves. She did
For
that.
our eventual collaboration that we do, I have the photos of me in the hood and like the gray sweater too.
I still
Yeah.
haven't seen those.
I'll show them to you later.
I just
Good
know that you went out in
Ariel's
the
seen
woods.
them.
Some good content, man.
Like
Quality
always,
content.
Yeah,
always be contenting. ABC.
Yeah, always. And there's ways. I mean, there's ways like to keeping up a practice for it. People are always willing to look at it as long as it keeps staying relevant.
Yeah.
And then like the stuff that you come up with, if you were to keep it, keep it on.
Yeah, like
The way like it's funny when I saw the hooded Jack that shit
Yeah.
fucking I was like fuck man. I wish I would have fucking saved it.
so cheap windows, like it tends to be like kind of high concept, even though I don't mean the albums as concept albums. Like people take it that way. And I was talking about with the touring emo band that stayed here the other night. They were saying like a bad show where like they had lights and projections and fog machines going off for like music that didn't make sense for it. I was thinking, well, that kind of makes sense for me. Like I have a projector now, I have a flood lamp. Like when I start playing shows again, like I kind of want to do stuff like that, like a Godspeed You Black Emperor vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I mean, that's awesome, dude. Like you have to have like just all that kind of stuff around, and like you can come up
Like
with
even
some
if
really
even if
sick
you have
shit.
like the DIY mentality or like you produce everything yourself, like I kind of like showmanship where you just like go over the top, you know?
yeah, you have to. You have to because I mean you gotta let
Like
you gotta
it's
let
hard to
loose,
keep
man.
people's attention nowadays, you know?
It is because of the oversaturation of how much.
Yeah, like
content's
there's
going
so
on.
much garbage out there that
Yeah.
like you gotta set yourself apart.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I think with cheap windows, you do really well, and I think like if there was more video content for it, it would show. For this year, like I mean, I was getting it too. I was getting a lot of people telling me, "Hey, you got to do more video."
Yeah,
with
I
what
think
you're
you
doing.
should too. Like, I think you should have more live
'Cause
videos
they'll-
out
'cause
there.
they'll
I
show-
think
'cause they'll
music
show.
videos too.
Because it'll show, and I think the same of cheap windows.
Yeah.
And like if you do a comedy thing, people that do comedy stuff, we don't access it because there's not enough video or there's not enough like the only comedy content.
People see the big comedians on Netflix.
Well,
and all
like
that.
no, the big okay, like coming from like my perspective, where when I see comedy like content coming at me is with videos that like have like I don't know little glitches, little things or whatever.
Yeah.
I won't go to a show. I won't do a thing or give a fuck unless it's some kind of video thing.
So Jack and I, like, we have sort of an idea for a harsh noise mockumentary, like 20 minutes long.
I've written for it. If we want to like pick back up on the project, I can probably like get that script across the finish line pretty quick.
So, like, the project name is Rigor Mortis, and Jack's the noise musician. He doesn't get that it's a play on rigor mortis. And it's,
He
like,
just thinks that it's, like,
vegan
edgy.
and halal, and like goes to SeaWorld just for the experience.
Yeah,
he's an art school burnout, not a dropout, a burnout. Like he got discharged for like
He got
all of his
expelled
reckless
from art
vandalism.
school.
Jack, get on it, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I've written a lot of stuff for the script. I got to just like finish it.
I can
like,
see Jack doing like a lot of online content. I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
really crossed it.
And like for this mini like mockumentary, like we would have interviews with people who are like connected to Jack. Like I would be Cheap Windows. Oh, I think it's okay. Just let when it gets to like 2 hours, like it loses the waveform for some reason.
Yeah, I thought we just lost everything real quick.
lost everything.
No, this has happened before.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, but
So Rigor Mortis documentary.
River Mortis. Yeah.
And like we would have an interview with me as Cheap Windows, like hyping up Jack as like this
A visionary.
visionary harsh noise artist.
And then everybody else who like knows me personally is like, that guy's a fucking dick. He's the worst.
And we
everybody in the scene hates him.
we interview the college dean who expelled Jack.
Oh yeah, like you know what? They expelled me because they just couldn't handle like my raw vision. And then it cuts to the just like it was the drugs. It was the drugs and the drinking and the nudity
And the burning.
and the arson. It was mostly I'm bearing the lead here. It was mostly the arson. And like I put like stage directions in the script that like specifically like are meant to like mimic like a Vice documentary. Like
Like
just
a noisy sort of thing.
all these visual cues that you see in the Vice documentary, like the guy going into like a shady looking establishment and then like looking back to the camera and then like tilting his head towards like, come on, let's go in here. Like the cameraman's apprehensive, like just shit like that you see in every Vice documentary.
And we would set up a fake house show or maybe real house show and both at the same time.
Oh,
where
yeah.
like we get our friends to join in and like there's live footage interstitched into this mockumentary. Or even better, like we throw our own sewer show, like we find a drainage tunnel in Claremont and like set it up.
So, Cheap Windows sewer show is something that I would probably want to see, like, in real
Oh
life.
fuck yeah!
Yeah,
We've-
dude, I've scouted it out. Like, I've got a good location.
I mean,
that the pirate punks haven't claimed.
we
so, like, I could do it.
filmed videos in Stormage Range before.
Yeah, like I have a music video actually.
I'm in that music video.
Yeah, there's a Cheap Windows music video that not everybody has seen. Like my friend Andrew
haven't
filmed
seen
it. I would trust Amazon with my life.
Yeah, I'm in it. I break a what was it, computer monitor with my bat.
Yeah, like he broke a computer monitor and records and like a cable modem that like our cable company wouldn't take back. So like
Jesus.
Just shit we could afford to destroy.
yeah, we went down by C Street in Golden Hill, and we found a drainage tunnel there. Recorded a music video. Friend Andrew filmed it for free. He has a film degree and a DSLR camera. Like he'll do anything for me. Like shout out Andrew.
Andrew, what up?
Andrew.
He was also in your
The man.
in your jokey side project, Jazz Hands for Cutie.
Yeah, Andrew is a member of Jazz Hands for Cutie. Like each album, like he plays an instrument that he's never played. He has no musical talent, but like we get him to play anyways. It's great. Like the last time we got him on drums, we went to the Your practice space in Mission Gorge, and we just used their drum kit. And I recorded him like playing drums very terribly. And I played piano well, so like it was a total mismatch. It was great.
Didn't you have me play like shitty, inexperienced piano for something once? I don't remember what it was.
It was for that album. Like the
Nice.
first half is like me playing piano well, and then the second half is Jack playing piano terribly, like the Knuckle song and like anything in C major.
Just hitting whatever fucking notes felt right at the moment, which were of course all wrong.
We had my friend Nick rap on top of it or do spoken word about Paul Blart movies.
Oh boy, yeah. I mean, was that
Bob
Quiet
Blart.
Nick?
Yeah, that was Quiet Nick.
Beloved podcast guest, 2 episodes prior, Quiet Nick. And now it's tambourine time.
Finally, the tambourine comes out on the
We're
podcast.
bringing out.
Huh?
Here,
You got any more instruments?
Yeah, there's like wood blocks that you could like string together.
Oh yeah, and whatever that is.
There's
Oh,
the
yeah.
African
Mbira,
marimba.
Mbira,
It's like a gourd sort of instrument.
That thing ended up on a Cheap Windows album, actually. My aunt got it for me at a thrift store she used to work at. And the times they are a changing. When else will you get a jam on a podcast?
Right now.
Never again.
This is the only one.
Right here. Oh well, you bastards.
This has been Oh Well You Bastards. Thank you very much to Ariel and Esteban for coming out.
We're at 2 hours, 20 minutes. Like, how can we top this?
This is how. This is the time that we sign off because it's not going to get any better than this. That's another rule of improv. Know when to cut.
Oh well, you bastards. Oh
Well, you bastards. Oh, well, you bastards. Oh, well, you bastards. Oh, well, you bastards. Oh, well, you bastards. I'd like to thank Ariel for coming out.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Esteban for coming out.
Yeah.
If you guys
Have
aren't
a safe drive home.
if you guys aren't too busy jamming, shout out anything you're working on, plug yourselves while we're jamming.
Yeah. Say hello to Diego Silver Suns, all doing the thing, doing the thing. Monochromacy
Wasted
doing
Arcana.
the thing. Monochromacy doing the thing.
I'm not doing shit. I'm working 12 hours a day.
Hell yeah, man, kill it. Make your money.
I'm working 10 hours to 12 hours a day.
Make that.
I'm not doing
Yeah, man. All right, big finish, guys. Big finish. Yeah! That was fresh as hell.
Dig it. That was funny.
Dude, that's so tight.
That was good.
Go.
Crinkly Cat ASMR.
Oh, that was good.
That was good, man. Oh, you bastard.
Dude, that was so much fun. More jams here.
Yeah.
There's all these combs instruments back there.
Watch. Get some seashell.
Oh, shit. No, it's yours.
The key is to always play in a pattern.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. Playing a pattern.
What you're playing.
Playing a pattern. Does not matter what note. Yeah, there you go. No, yeah, let's do it. Play it. At Coaxial, I played a beer can with a condenser mic and a couple effects. That was fun.